of foster care. Like Daisy, every child deserves a permanent, loving home. You can help. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
I never realized that I'd be taking care of a 2-year-old and a 9-year-old on my own. I think men can be a little stubborn sometimes where pride gets in the way and they may want the help. They may not know how to ask. With my traditions, with the family support in line, and just with my mind frame, I was able to turn a negative into a positive. I knew I needed more tools in my toolbox to take care of these little girls that had just lost their mother. It's time for me to be that father that I knew I could be. I think just being that good role model as well, that models good behavior in front of them, going to work every day, coming home and being able to put on that smile. The biggest reward about being a dad is sitting back and watching your kids be happy.
Never stop being a dad. That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This is Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty, Evan Cohen, and Michelle Smallman.
My wife is such a good cook that I have no problem saying publicly that my wife is a better cook than my mama. My wife is the best cook I know. I love the Reverend. I love Reverend Canty, but my wife, Mel Canty, is a better cook than my mama.
How does your mom react to that statement?
My wife doesn't like it, and I'm pretty sure my mom doesn't either, but it's true. That's how good of a cook my wife is. Wow. I married the best cook I know.
That is blasphemous.
We are Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. If you missed any of our show today, make sure you listen back to our podcast, wherever podcasts are found. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. If you're watching on ESPNU or following along on our social media, as curated by the amazing Rob Lorenzo, who is in now year number 2 of his tenure on our show. Year number 1 officially ended for him yesterday. And he's on to year 2. We appreciate Rob, of course. And you will see us all in our pink onesie/pajamas, which there is a lot of buzz about. The amount of people on social media and walking the halls here at the Seaport that are asking how they can get one is remarkable. So what are we going to do with this? Just the 3 of us talking now.
Well, we got to figure out a way to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the silk USL pajama sets and the onesies.
So Nuno's in charge of the show. Nuno's the leader of the show. One would think if he cares about the fans, he'd then go and use his own money to purchase a lot of these to give out to fans.
His own money?
Yeah. I mean, right? I mean, Cece, like he's in charge. Nuno should give back to the fans this Thanksgiving.
He is the leader of the show.
Yeah.
It's good branding and publicity for the show.
It is.
It's good marketing for the show.
But
Nuno.
Whose names are on the show? Whose faces are on Smalls' pajamas?
That's true. I don't see.
I mean, we didn't get. By the way,
silk sets.
Vegas East didn't get any pajamas.
Right, it's for fans.
Oh, you guys didn't get any?
No, we didn't get any.
Oh, we got it.
Well, you have not because you asked not, Nuno. That's on you.
No,
Okay,
when you make swag for a show, like people that work on the show should be getting the swag.
That is true. When I was a producer of various shows, when I produced Rosillo and Cannell, I got all the swag. It wasn't just Ryan and Danny. Me, Cerruti, Bubba, we all got it.
I actually am kind of jealous of Smalls, though. She does have the silk pajama set, and I love my onesie, but I feel like I need to have an alternative, and the silk pajama set looks really, really comfy, too.
It's very comfortable. It's very breathable. It swooshes when I move, which is nice.
And didn't one of you guys get a robe as well?
I got a robe too. Yeah, I almost brought it in, but I thought it might be a little too much. And the guys were wearing pink, so I wanted to match. So we were all in unison here. But I don't know how I feel about wearing pajamas that have our faces on them.
Yeah, it's a little jarring for us every once in a while. Like, you'll see it on your left, shoulder where all of a sudden you see Evan's face.
I know, I've noticed that. Like, when my hair moves, I see Evan.
Now I want these. I get in bed normally before my wife because I go to sleep earlier. I want her to get in bed and just to see me like, wait, why are Cece and Smalls in here with us?
Okay, well.
I didn't realize that Evan would look good as a blonde, too. What? Evan as a blonde, it actually kind of works.
Does it?
Your hair is over my face.
Hold on, let me.
Evan as a blonde kind of works.
Look, I'm giving you some bangs here. You kind of look like Mark Davis right now.
Go ahead and get your Joe Burrow on, Evan. Get your Joe Burrow on. Get them frosted tips, brother. Let's go.
You hear what she said? She said I look like Mark Davis.
And look, I've got the bangs on there for him. He kind of
does have a Mark Davis. Yeah.
It's giving Mark Davis.
It's
I'm not mad at
Mark Davis.
I'd be mad at that if I had that haircut. Anyway, okay. So
he pays good money for those.
We've got 3 games today. We've got the Bears and the Lions. We've got, of course, the Giants and Cowboys, and then the nightcap, which is the best one. At least it seems like, the Packers and the Dolphins. 3 coaches are on the hot seat that are going to be coaching today. Brian Daboll of the Giants, Mike McCarthy of the Cowboys, and Matt Eberflus of the Bears. Is there a chance that any one of these 3 are coaching their last games with their respective teams today?
Yeah, I could see Brian Daboll getting clipped. I mean, they've lost 6 straight games, and I don't see how they pull out of this nosedive. And the part that's probably the most jarring is how awful the team looked, specifically the offense against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Giants' offense has been absolutely abysmal at home. We all know this to be fact, but they took it to another level with Tommy DeVito this past week. They had 3 first downs and 45 total yards in one half of football. The only touchdown, the only points that they got were in garbage time in the fourth quarter after the game was out of hand. So I could absolutely see a world where Giants ownership, given what they're seeing on the field and what they're hearing from the players in the locker room, decides to make a change over the long weekend.
I don't know if I see any of these 3 getting fired after the results today. Mike McCarthy, definitely not, just because of what Jerry Jones not only said, but the actions he's shown us in the past. When he said he could see a world in which Mike McCarthy does return to the Dallas Cowboys next season, I believe Jerry when he says that, because he has shown a tremendous amount of patience when it comes to head coaches, even in years where the results aren't great, which is why I was very surprised that he would allow Mike McCarthy to go into an offseason as a lame duck, just knowing the disruption that it would cause if the goal is to be all in and win a Super Bowl. But I guess Jerry did get the desired result, which is that we talked about it all season long. So, but I can't see him making that move today, even if the Giants beat the Dallas Cowboys at home on Thanksgiving with America watching. Matt Eberflus, same thing. Even though at the end of the season, I see a scenario where it's likely he doesn't return, I think that the Chicago Bears will be patient and see what he does for the remainder of the season, particularly because last year at this time, it's when the Bears really came on and showed a bunch of fight, showed progress, and showed just a little bit more effort at the end. They wanted to see what he could do. Now, the Brian Daboll one is the most interesting of the 3. While I expect the Giants to maybe let him coach throughout the end of the season, if the Dallas Cowboys, who aren't a good football team and have let everyone come into Jerry's world and absolutely work them this year, somehow destroy the Giants, that might be the tipping point if you're Giants ownership, even though I think it's more likely than not he gets the rest of the season.
They have already come out and said that those 2 guys, Daboll and Shane, the coach and general manager, are seemingly safe. CC has told us, as a former Giant, it's not that John Mara, the owner of the team, is lying. It's that those decisions can always be altered based on performance, attitude, team's responsiveness, et cetera, et cetera. So in that moment, there certainly was a chance that that was his thought process, and everything has changed since. Let me flip the question then on everybody.
Can I say something about that too, Evan?
Yeah.
Remember the last time that John Mara came out and said that about a head coach in the middle of the season? It was with Ben McAdoo in 2017. Mm-hmm. I don't envision making a change. That's what he said. A month later, he fired Ben McAdoo. Do you remember what the Giants' record was when he fired Ben McAdoo?
I don't. I just remember the garbage bag he wore as a shirt.
Okay, I'm gonna enlighten you. It was December 4th, 2017, and the Giants' record was 2-10. What's the Giants' record right now?
2-9.
2-9.
Okay.
And that was in his second year versus his third year. And that was, I'm just looking up McAdoo now.
And that was after the playoffs. They went to the playoffs his first year.
That was in
2016.
That was the Odell on the boat in the no-shirt jeans Tim's
correct.
game. Yeah.
Correct.
That was literally, if you.
I'm just gonna put that out there. People think it's Ben McAdoo. Brian Daboll. The New York Giants. Their head coach is gonna be fine throughout the rest of the season because the owner says it so. Not so fast. This thing has become an embarrassment, and it stinks. And as a former player, somebody that's got blood in the ground over there at MetLife Stadium, I don't know how the franchise can function forward without holding somebody accountable. The players are clearly frustrated at the head coach. You heard Leak Neighbors talking about Ash Daves. Everybody in the organization knows better than him. Why are they waiting until the second half to target me? We're down by 30 points. What am I going to do when you get me the football now? You're hearing Dexter Lawrence feel a way about them getting rid of one of his best friends, quarterback Daniel Jones. They're saying that quarterback clearly wasn't the problem. How is that not an indictment on the head coach? And I think that part will become more obvious, more glaring as we continue to move forward. And it could be another one of those embarrassing moments for ownership in a long line of embarrassing moments that has been the 2024 season.
Well, and the thing, too, about what the players are saying, where's the lies? Like, where's the lies and what Malik Neighbors was saying about getting him the ball earlier and at a better rate? Where's the lies and what Dexter Lawrence was saying about Daniel Jones being the best option at quarterback and the message that it sends to the locker room and the toughness or lack thereof that this team is displaying? You know, sometimes we have players come out and say things and we can just say, oh, they feel like they're disgruntled, etc. I don't see any lies coming out of the Giants locker room right now.
All right, I was going to go somewhere else, but this is interesting now with the Giants because if we're saying that I was going to say McAdoo's the issue, that today that Dayball, if they get blown out, national TV, Thanksgiving game, etc., that he's fully right then and there in the crosshairs of what may happen. That's the problem. Is there, as we sit here at this point in the season, a suggested solution for the Giants, Cece? Do you have someone that you've thought about, or multiple people, let's say, or a type of coach that you would say something has to change with this organization between McAdoo and Shermer and Judge and Dayball? Every move they've made has not worked. Is there a thought process as to what the solution could be?
The last time the organization went through this type of futility was between, 1964 and 1980, where they didn't go to the playoffs. It was just absolutely abysmal for a decade and a half. And they just went out and got a football czar. They went out and they got George Young to come in and overhaul the organization, to reshape, to change it. And that's what they need to do this time around. They need to go out and get a football czar. And to me, somebody that would absolutely pick up the phone call, somebody that has been interested in the job, is Bill Belichick. He's the one that I would rely on to come in, to step in, and to reshape everything. Now, I wouldn't want Belichick buying the groceries. I wouldn't want him to be my general manager. But in terms of coaching this team and establishing a culture that can eventually lead to sustained success, I have full confidence that he can do that. And then also, when you look at Belichick's expertise, the defensive side of the ball, and specifically with outside linebackers, wouldn't you want to have that guy be the head coach when you got Kayvon Thibodeau and Spider Burns? I don't know. Just maybe. So it feels like the New York Giants would be a good fit for Bill Belichick. I would hope that they would give that some consideration, because this is a franchise that not only has to reestablish a winning culture, but they also have to reestablish some credibility in the eyes of their fan base. And I can't see a hire out there that does that more than bringing back Belichick.
So what's interesting about that in terms of the grocery part of it, they don't have a quarterback, so that if you're Belichick, obviously that's a scary proposition there, of course. But
is it scary when you're going to have a top 3 pick?
Yeah, because I don't know that I'm jumping at the quarterbacks this year for him versus maybe last year or next year in terms of how good they could be, because I don't think Shador is going to get to 3. And Cam Ward, I like Cam Ward. I don't know where he's going to go, but just so you're buying the groceries thing, that's an easy fix. If Chris Canty is the owner of the Giants in this case, and Belichick needs to sell you, think about how many successful general managers he's worked with that are available for hire right now if he has the good relationships with, if he's interested in working with them. From Scott Pioli, who was with them in New England, to Thomas Dimitroff, who was in Atlanta, to John Robinson, who I thought did a good job in Tennessee, to Bob Quinn, who was in Detroit. Now, okay, say what you want, but the early stages of this Detroit team were built when he drafted them, to Mike Lombardi, who he works with that's 5 off the top of my head without thinking about it. 5 ex-general managers that he's worked with and had level of success with that you could pitch to if CC's the owner. Okay, I get it. You don't like what I did at the end of New England. What if I brought these guys with me? Then you take a step back and say, okay, let's further the conversation. Like, there's a counter to that, and I mean that in a good way. Like, if you're Belichick in that
absolutely.
spot. I love the idea of him coaching the Giants. I don't love the idea of him not inheriting a quarterback upon arrival.
Because you're worried he won't pick the right one?
No, it's not that. It's running out of time. He's 70-something years old. Like, don't sign up for that if you don't have to, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, we've talked a lot today about the Dolphins side of tonight. Jordan Love has kind of been quiet in our conversation about what's going to happen tonight. Is that a good thing? Is less Jordan Love actually more? We'll discuss next. It's Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
It's rivalry week in college football. Heated rivals go head-to-head at the Los Angeles Coliseum when USC faces Notre Dame, who sit one win from clinching a spot in the college football playoff. Coverage begins Saturday at 3 Eastern, with kickoff at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app, presented by Dr. Pepper.
ABC Wednesdays.
Y'all complain all day. We want books. We want paper towels in the classroom. Bet you want raises, too. I'm still waiting on the paper towels.
Abbott Elementary returns with a new season.
We asked the district for more after-school programs. They gave us $50 for class pets instead.
Critics cheer. Abbott Elementary continues to be one of the funniest and most beloved shows on TV.
What y'all doing out there? Taking bribes? Proud of y'all.
Abbott Elementary, Wednesdays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
This is Seattle Sports.
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho, 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 ho.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about the holidays. They're a time for friends, family, good food, and ugly sweaters. But they're also when cops are out in full force, looking to pull you over and find evidence of DUI. During the holiday months at 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we see DUI arrests skyrocket. So if instead of carolers coming to your house, it's a summons to court, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We have over 25 years of experience keeping the holidays joyous, because too much of Grandma Betty's eggnog can easily take you on a midnight sleigh ride to jail. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation in Seattle, Bellevue, Everett, or Tacoma. Don't drink and drive this holiday season, because if you're caught driving with a nose too red and cheeks too jolly, you'll be calling 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
This is Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty, Evan Cohen, and Michelle Smallman. Evan Cohen.
One of us that used to play football, so it was me.
Chris Canty.
Mr. 8 interception.
Michelle Smallman.
County record.
I just remembered something I would not have remembered.
What?
Smalls and I were walking. So I played high school football, and I was bad as a quarterback, and I threw a lot of interceptions in a game against a school called Nyack in New York. Smalls and I were walking out yesterday of the Seaport here in New York, and there was a massive commotion, some sort of concert or parade or something, band, whatever. And our first response is, I think that's Nyack's band. I was like, really? Why did you have to do that?
It says NYAC, and I thought maybe there was a K on the end that I couldn't see. And I was like, tough place to play. Everyone knows.
It wasn't Nyack. Thank you very much.
Evan, are you the guy at Thanksgiving that starts the touch football game?
You know, we haven't really done that in the past because the kids are so young. But all the kids are of age now that will be there that I think we could get that going. I would love
Would you be so competitive in the game?
I imagine you like Peyton Manning in that SNL sketch. Where
Yes.
Get open, man. Get open.
Yeah, seriously. That's Evan for sure.
I'm already thinking about the teams and like who would be on my team in this spot.
Who's your first pick?
Well, I have to pick kids or adults.
Whoever you want.
My brother-in-law, my wife's brother, Jordan, is a tremendous athlete. Tremendous athlete. Like really, really athletic. Played like high-level lacrosse growing up. Like I probably would pick him.
Nice.
Yeah, because he's a ridiculous athlete and really strong. So I'd probably go there.
Okay.
Why?
I thought you, being the competitive person you are and putting so much stock into any football performance you've ever had, that you would have already thought about this.
Well, I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah, I thought that you would have had your team, your dream team in your head.
Do you guys do that, CC? Or would that be, and is that when you talk about the police ending up at your home?
Wow. Okay. Moving right along, sir.
Well, you're the one who says that every Canty event has the police ending up there. I don't say that.
I said there's the potential for that to happen. Not every single one, but if we had that type of situation where we were getting competitive to that end, then it would be a problem.
Yeah, I could see that.
It would be a problem. We don't know how to play nice in the sandbox. We just don't.
Competitive.
Hey, guys, so
competitive.
Canty and Evan, since you're hosting a bunch of people, has the guest list changed throughout the week? Like, more or less?
Yes,
like, how are we
actually.
feeling?
Yes, it has. Why? I don't understand.
No, I'm just asking.
I know what Nuno's doing. There are some guests that are potentially up in the air. And two, your question, sir, it's to be determined. We'll figure this thing out at kickoff. It's a true game time decision.
Nuno's a bad guy.
He is a bad guy.
You didn't have to respond that way.
Pat's the one that keeps playing that rejoin, though.
I kind of do because it seems weird and awkward on the radio if I don't have a response. I have to let people behind the curtain a little bit. But, I mean, you putting some things out in the ether that are not meant for public consumption, sir.
Pat literally has played the same rejoin about how you don't like your mother's cooking 3 times so far.
I don't think it said he doesn't like his mother's
just said
cooking.
his wife is the best
I didn't like my mom's cooking. Look at you stirring the pot.
If you
literally
say,
and figuratively stirring the pot.
I'm not married, but Evan, Canty, you could tell me this. If you say you like your wife's cooking better than your mother's, does that not mean you're saying that your mother's cooking is not good?
My mother's cooking is not good.
Oh,
no, that's not what I'm saying. I am complimenting my wife.
Yes.
Her cooking is so good that I prefer it to my mom's. I'm complimenting my wife. It just so happens to be true. So I'm just going to go out there and put it out there. I don't see a problem with that.
And how does your mother
be mad at her husband for big upping his wife?
You're still her baby. You're still her baby.
Yeah, but I think saying your wife is number one and your mom is a close second is in no way disrespectful. And I think it's great that CeCe married, in his opinion, the best chef that he knows.
Well, Smalls, I'm glad you feel that way now. If only you could convince my mother, the good reverend, that that's the fact. But she feels like it's disrespectful. But I don't think it's disrespectful.
At least you don't publicize it, though.
Well, here's the other part. Here's the other part of the game. I gotta live with my wife. I ain't gotta live with my mama.
That's true. Good point. Good point. Happy wife, happy life, right, CeCe?
No doubt.
Smart man.
All right, let's talk about Love. As in the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, we have not discussed him maybe enough today, because when we've been thinking about these games, the Lions are awesome. They're going for, 10 in a row. The Bears are trying to continue development of Caleb Williams. The Cowboys and Giants have given us an amazing opportunity to eat and then nap. And the Packers and the Dolphins, that's the primetime game that we're all interested in. And the Dolphins have been very much the topic of conversation because we have declared this a must-win for the Dolphins. If they don't win tonight, they're not going to make the playoffs. I think we all know that. They may not make the playoffs even if they do win tonight. But Jordan Love has looked more Aaron Rodgers than he has, more Brett Favre than he has Aaron Rodgers with the Packers specifically. Could that, Smalls, cost your team a shot at the Super Bowl? If he continues to turn the ball over, which he did not throw an interception last game, but if he looks more Favre-ish than Rodgers, and Favre did get to 2, Rodgers got to 1, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, I'm glad you brought up the fact that he did not throw an interception last weekend versus San Francisco, because I'm hoping that that's a positive trend that we see down the stretch here for Jordan Love and for Green Bay. He has 11 interceptions this season, tied with Patrick Mahomes for the second most in the NFL, only behind Geno Smith. That's obviously turning the ball over way too much. And you have to take into account with that output right there that he's also been injured this season and has missed some games. So he is turning the ball over at far too high of a clip. And I'm hoping that what we saw last week, like I said, is a positive trend, because that absolutely could cost you a Super Bowl. When you get into the playoffs and you get into games that are tightly contested against the top opponents in the NFL, your margin for error gets smaller. And if you're turning the ball over, like we always talked about with Josh Allen, who has, course corrected this season, that could be the thing that comes back to bite you, which is why I'm hoping today that it's a Josh Jacobs special. It's going to be really cold at Lambeau. Don't give the Miami Dolphins an opportunity. Don't be careless with the football, which we have seen Jordan Love do sometimes with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I'm not going to be too panicked about the Jordan Love of it all. I understand that Josh Jacobs is on one, 6 touchdowns over the last 4 games. He has been a godsend for this team, especially this offense, because they can have more balance than they have in the past under Matt LaFleur. But what I'll say about Jordan Love is that this is the regularly scheduled program for this kid. He always gets out to slow starts during the regular season, and then he heats up as we move into the second half and the postseason. Last year, Jordan Love, through the first 9 weeks of the NFL season, had 12 passing touchdowns to 8 interceptions. He finished the last year with 22 total touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So from week 10 through the playoffs, Jordan Love, 22 total touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and the second highest QBR in the sport. So I'm used to seeing Jordan Love struggle early and then him get hot late. And if that's what's going to happen, then the Green Bay Packers are a serious threat to get to and win a Super Bowl. Because right now this team is 8-3, and Jordan Love hasn't come close to playing his best football. But if he plays up to the potential, to the talent that we all know and have seen on display in the most important moments of the season, then this Green Bay Packers team is going to be a tough out for anybody. And that includes the Detroit Lions. That includes the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hell yeah.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Visit allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Coming up, our ESPN Radio Pick'em Challenge. I'm just looking at the standings. I recognize that group of people in first place. We'll discuss next and pick games. It's Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
This show and all the ESPN Radio is streaming live on the ESPN app, featuring ESPN Plus, where you get more ESPN. Download the ESPN app today and take ESPN and ESPN Radio everywhere.
Harry Douglas here. Say goodbye to bulky, clunky shavers that clutter your bathroom. Not only do you get an incredible shave, Panasonic's Palm Razor has a sleek, elegant design that adds a touch of sophistication to your bathroom. It also conveniently charges with the USB cord. Visit shop.panasonic.com/sports to shop for the Palm Razor. And from Thursday through Monday, it's 15% off, no promo code needed. That's shop.panasonic.com/sports.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Seattle Sports.
Planning to propose this holiday? Shane Company is ready to help you find your dream engagement ring. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones in all shapes and sizes. So when you walk in the door, you can trust your rock is in stock. At Shane Company, we've always sourced directly, cut out the middleman, and pass the savings on to you. We work with your budget, not against it. We'll also protect your ring for life with our free unmatched lifetime warranty. Come see us at shaneco.com and in-store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555 or visit revivemenshealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used in ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
If your home's heating system is 10 years or older, it needs a tune-up. Your furnace and heat pump work extremely hard, and after 10 years, wear and tear can cause a failure. The last thing you want this winter. Deere Services is now offering a heating system tune-up with a no-breakdown guarantee and no service fees for just $49. A thorough inspection and recalibration for just $49. Visit DEARservices.net. Make an appointment, and we'll be there within 3 hours. Deere Services, Seattle Seahawks small business partners.
An airliner without warning plunges into the Gulf of Alaska. No one knows why. There are no survivors. Then loved ones are left to wonder, what happened to Flight 293? Unsolved Histories. What happened to Flight 293? Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
November is a great time to get a new TV. Now that the top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony are at the lowest prices of the year. With Black Friday deals available, what more could you want? How about better than Black Friday? Before you click, you should call Video Only to see how you can go lower than Black Friday. That's right, the best TVs at better prices. Check out Video Only before you buy, or you'll be sorry.
Again! Here's that song again! For the 100th time today, here's that song again. It's gonna be stuck in your head all day. Here's that song again. It will make you cray, cray.
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily. The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
It's a team, man. It's a team. One guy can't do it. It takes all of us.
ESPN Radio's Pick'em Challenge.
ESPN Radio Pick'em Challenge. We pick games against our fellow ESPN Radio shows, our teammates. Would you guys like to start in terms of the standings update, from the bottom?
Sure.
Maybe we'll start at the bottom, like last place. Like really far back
That's
up first
what CC
place.
does his power rankings from 5 to 1 every
so
week.
In last place, like the bottom, Carlin versus Joe.
Wow.
Terrible. 15, 20, and 1.
Wow.
50. Let's just emphasize this. Carlin versus Joe, 15, 20, and 1. That gets a coach fired.
It's shocking.
Gets coach fired.
It's a shocking result.
Gotta put somebody there on the hot seat. I don't know who it is. Is it Carlin? Is it Joe? Is it Wilner, the producer? Evan Wilner?
Hot seat watch.
No, it's got to be Fortenbaugh. He's the final boss, right?
Yeah, good point.
So that means he's the one that's most responsible for what the product is. And it's been inferior to the rest of the ESPN radio network.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Definitely in the hot seat. All right, second to last place, Amber and Ian at 17, 18, and 1. Then Cam Pratt, who's with us today. Do you have an explanation as to why your team, the Greeny team, has a losing record at 17, 18, and 1?
Well, they usually trust me to make those picks, so that's why.
All right, there's the
Terrible.
18, 17, and 1 is game night. Freddie and Harry tied with us atop the leaderboard, 19, 16, and 1. We are in first place with Freddie and Harry. Weekdays 3P to 7P Eastern Time. Let's pick some games, guys. Giants at Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 4.
I mean, the Cowboys have won 7 straight against the New York Giants. So it's hard not to be on board with the Cowboys and laying the 4 points. I do expect that the Giants are going to be feisty, but I just think the quarterback position is going to limit what they can be on the offense and limit what this team overall can do. We don't know what the status of Tommy DeVito is. He didn't travel to Dallas with the team. He's expected to join them a little bit later, so at some point. But it's a long shot that he plays, and if so, you're going to go to Drew Lock. And Drew Lock was the quarterback that you passed up when you started Tommy DeVito after you cut Daniel Jones. So that tells me that you think more of DeVito than you do Drew Lock. And we saw how DeVito played against the Tampa Bay Bucks. So, yeah, give me the Cowboys. I think they're all over the Giants at home on Turkey Day.
Okay, so I hear where you're coming from with your side of the argument, but may I counter with the fact that the Cowboys absolutely stink at home this year. They stink. If they lose this game, they'll be 0-6 at home. It'll be the 3rd time in franchise history that's happened. The Cowboys have been outscored by 118 points through 5 home games this season. They stink at home. So I don't know. I could see the Giants shockingly winning this game.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So this is it's a stoppable force meeting a movable object.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, my God.
I'm going with the Cowboys. This is the first time in God knows how long that the Cowboys feel an ounce of momentum. They win last week against the Commanders, a great win. They have to, in this moment, be looking at this saying, hey, guys, I don't believe they have a shot, but they have to be looking at it as, hey, guys, we got a shot. We got the Giants today, Bengals, Monday Night Football, long gap in between, get guys healthy, at the Panthers. Like, those are winnable games. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Yeah, sure, you could say Drew Lock kind of gives maybe a little momentum for the Giants, maybe just sling it out there. No, I'm sorry. Not doing it. Bears at the Lions. CC, Lions favored by 10. We've had the discussion all week. Could the Lions be peaking a little too early? Doesn't mean they're not great. It means for relative to postseason success, could they be peaking a little too early?
Here's what I'll say. I just losing 3 straight division games seems like a rough proposition. I got to imagine that you're going to get the last gas from the Matt Eberflus-led Chicago Bears, and Caleb Williams has been trending in the right direction despite not getting the outcome that they've been looking for since Thomas Brown took over as the offensive coordinator. I think the Bears are a little feistier than the odds makers want to give them credit for. So I would actually take the Bears and the points in this matchup. I still think the Detroit Lions win, but I think the Chicago Bears make it closer than the experts think.
Could not agree more with everything that CC just said. I know Detroit has won 4 of its last 5 by double digits. They've been working everybody. However, the Chicago Bears feel like they've been kind of inching closer and closer. They have been showing that feistiness. They have been showing that they've been better in games, especially Caleb Williams. A late season divisional game, I don't know. 10 points seems like too much for me. I would do exactly what CC said and roll with the Bears.
This feels like the kind of game where the Lions either win by 1 or 21. And no in between. So I'm cool going with the 1 in this case, right? I'm not going, and neither of you guys, obviously, with the Bears beating the Lions, but the Bears covering totally fine with. It's on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance, ESPN Radio Pick'em. We got Cowboys -4. We've got the Bears -10. The late game tonight, Dolphins at the Packers. Packers are favored, CC, by 3.5 at home this evening in cold weather.
Yeah, the cold weather thing is real. A cold player is not a fast player. And then beyond that, I just think the physicality of the Green Bay Packers slows down that speedy offense from the Miami Dolphins. So I'll take the Green Bay Packers. I'll lay the 3.5 points, have no hesitation in doing so. We got to remember, this Packers defense is opportunistic. They create a lot of negative plays. They create a lot of turnovers. The team is second when it comes to points off of turnover margin. So I think this is a situation where you look for that Packers defense to find a way to disrupt Tua in that offense, create some extra possessions, create some short fields. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and the Packers offense capitalized on it. Give me the Packers laying the points.
The Dolphins have been more productive since Tua's been back. He's been incredibly accurate. However, I'm going to default to the obvious. Just like CC said, Tua 0-7 when the temperature is 40 degrees or colder. We're trending towards a balmy 26 degrees by kickoff in Green Bay. I'm not going to overthink this one. Go, Pack, go.
I agree. Packers -3.5, but I don't think it's that difficult to pick. Watch us have egg on our face tomorrow. Okay, last one, the Friday game. Raiders at the Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 12.5. CC's former teammate Antonio Pierce, head coach of the Raiders, came out yesterday and just was honest. And he probably has nothing to lose. His fate may already be sealed for all we know. He said, listen, it's the best team versus the worst team. What do we have to lose? I don't hate that attitude. What else are you going to do if you're the Raiders head coach right now? Chiefs favored by 12.5. CC, where we're going on this?
Oh, man. I actually like the Raiders and the points on this one. The Kansas City Chiefs haven't really blown out a lot of teams this year. I mean, you look at what happened, their win on the road against Carolina. You're talking about that game being, down to the wire. And the Carolina Panthers thought they would force overtime. Unfortunately, they didn't realize that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest football player on the planet, maybe the greatest that has ever lived. He had a last-second scoring drive to get the win and get out of there. But I don't think that this is a situation where the Chiefs are going to blow the doors off of the Raiders. And it's because of what Antonio Pierce said. This is a team that has nothing to lose. And their loss to the Denver Broncos last week was a lot closer than that 29-19 score. So I actually like the Raiders getting the 12.5 points in this spot.
It's weird that I'm so in lockstep with everything that we're saying here. Usually I'm the outlier. But, yeah, I think that 12.5 is too much. Kansas City's been playing teams very, very close. And I could absolutely see the Raiders making this one interesting. I think the Chiefs will win, but I think the Raiders keep it closer than that 12.5.
What does Bill Belichick say about football, where great team starts at or after Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving? Tomorrow's after Thanksgiving. These are the Kansas City Chiefs. These are the Chiefs that lost to the Raiders a year ago. And these are the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, that have a quarterback named Patrick Mahomes who was made fun of by the Raiders players in the offseason imitating him, right?
Ooh, they did, yeah.
They were mocking him. I would lean Chiefs in a blowout. Obviously, no issue with the idea of maybe Go ahead.
Actually, you convinced me.
I did.
You convinced me.
Go ahead.
You can't taunt Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Chiefs. Sometimes, just sometimes, they take a moment in the regular season to prove a point, and this could be one of those games because this loss last year on Christmas Day was the turning point for their season. That could be a situation where they look to embarrass the Las Vegas Raiders for what they did.
Yeah.
So I think you might be on to something, Ev. I'm willing to consider going with the Chiefs and laying the 12.5 points. With such a big number in a divisional game, it feels like they're begging you to take the Raiders into points. And when Vegas is begging you to do something you probably shouldn't. So, I don't know, Smalls. I feel like I'm flip-flopping on you a little bit. I think I'm going to go with Evan and take the Chiefs and lay in the 12.5.
Can I just make one other add-on point to this? So the easy counter, somebody listening, watching right now would say, well, wait a minute. They only beat the Raiders by 7 earlier in the season. That's right. But their season doesn't start till tomorrow. And maybe even after that, to be honest with you. But
it doesn't start till the AFC Championship game.
Right, but the point is that they're so good. They're working everything out to get to this point. And, oh, by the way, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Isaiah Pacheco back tomorrow? Oh, and by the way, don't they have a backup running back now in Kareem Hunt who will beat you up on the defensive line and their linebackers the way he plays and runs the football?
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna physically beat up on the Raiders, I think, tomorrow. And I hate to do this because I don't think they're actually going to fire him in season, but we may have had this incorrect in terms of the coaches coaching for their job over Thanksgiving or beyond. I mean, is it crazy that Antonio Pierce is 2 tomorrow? 2-10? Just saying. I don't think he's going to be back next season. I don't know. I lean Chiefs blowout in this one.
I hate it, but I'm overruled.
Yeah. All right. So we got Cowboys -4, Bears +10, Packers -3.5, and the Chiefs -12.5 as part of the ESPN Radio Pick'em Challenge here on Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. Coming up, we got CC's Best Bet and a Thanksgiving edition of Unsportsmanlike Moments of the Day. Next, Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
This show and all of ESPN is streaming live on the ESPN app, featuring ESPN Plus, the streaming service powered by ESPN. From live events to original programming, Download the ESPN app and sign up for ESPN Plus today.
This is Seattle Sports.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The best defense is a good offense. So before the sewer backs up into your home and wreaks havoc, stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is there for you when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Mariners single game tickets for 2025 are on sale now. The squad will be back in action before you know it. And now's the time to lock in your seats for the biggest games next season. Don't miss opening day on March 27th. Incredible giveaways like the Julio Bat Flip Bubble and matchups versus the Dodgers, Yankees, and more. Plus, check out 30 value games with tickets starting at just $10. Go to Mariners.com to get your tickets today.
A deep blast. This is gone. Home run, Julio.
Hey, are you looking to save on internet and mobile this holiday season? Well, good news. Xfinity is having a Black Friday sale. They have you covered with these great deals. Learn how to get your choice of a 5G phone on Xfinity. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price. So don't wait. Bring home a new 5G phone and get Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile. That's a big deal. Or should I say a gig deal? Now through December 3rd, ask how to get your choice of free 5G phone with an unlimited plus line. Plus, get Xfinity Gigabit internet with free Wi-Fi equipment for only $25 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply, taxes and fees extra after promo, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires Xfinity Gateway. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
All right, time to win some money.
Canty's best bet
Walking down the field, y'all. Chasing that bag, y'all.
of the night.
All right, so before we get to the best bet, I got some special guests, some big fans of the Unsportsmanlike show. My cousins in from Indiana who watch the show every single morning. They're spending Thanksgiving with us down here in South Carolina, and they wanted to say hello. So, guys, tell them where you're from, tell them your names, and make sure that you wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hey, Jet. And this is Lucy.
Hi, my name's Lucy, and I'm from Memphis, Indiana, and happy Thanksgiving.
All right. And Lila.
Hey, guys.
Come on, you got to speak up, Lila. Come on, Lila, bud.
I'm from Indiana, too. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. And that is a part of the Canty family. Now, we got our player today. And we're going to go with the Turkey Day parlay. So we're going to start with the 12:30 game. We're taking the Lions on the money line. I don't need to mess around there. We've got the Dallas Cowboys laying at 3.5 against the Giants at home. And I've got the Miami Dolphins plus 3.5 on the road in Lambeau. That three-leg parlay pays out at plus 322. That is the play of the day.
survived a terrible, terrible moment in our history.
The most unsportsmanlike moment of the day.
That was terrible.
Was not a great look.
CC, it seems like you got wonderful cousins. Hopefully they did not watch Louisville in Indiana last night because that was...
Oh, they did.
Oh,
they did. We watched it
89-61. Not ideal.
That was a beatdown.
I was listening on SportsCenter all night on the way in this morning with Jay Reynolds, and they were playing a clip with our buddy Jay Will and our guy Seth Greenberg, and they were just like, I don't understand how a 14th ranked team in America could lose by 28 points. They were like, this is just a butt kicking all around. They were stunned at the result of that. So hopefully today is better for your family than yesterday.
I hope things are okay with Woody out there in Indiana. Let's just hope that things go okay the rest of the way.
Can't have many more of those types of losses.
No, sure can't.
All right. So it is Thanksgiving, and we wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. A reminder, if you're friends with any of us, make sure you text us Happy Thanksgiving individually with our names on it, specifically one Chris Canty, if you have his phone number. He loves getting those texts and wants to respond to each and every one of you. And feel free to text Smalls and I as well if you have our phone numbers as well. Anyway, nothing can be said. So yesterday on First Take, Christopher Mad Dog Russo, what is he mad about? He's mad about Thanksgiving, and there were others involved, including Molly and Stephen A. and Kimberly A. Martin and Jeff Saturday. Take a listen to the doggy yesterday on First Take.
Okay. This is what I want tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Okay. I don't want to see a child. I don't want to see a relative. I don't want to see my mother with the burnt veal parmesan or the ruined dessert where we all get sick because she can't cook. I don't want to see that either. And believe me, I don't want to see Jeannie. Okay? So this is what I want to do. Put me downstairs, okay? Put a little turkey, open up the door, and place it on the ground so I can eat it when I want. Give me the complete unknown soundtrack of Dylan, and let me do this. This is what I want to do tomorrow. Take a peek. That is my new jigsaw puzzle. And guess who is on the cover?
Babe Ruth.
That is the Bambino.
Bambino.
It's black and white.
You are such an antisocial only
That's all I want. There you go. And he's very right-handed because Sam doesn't know he hits left-handed. But that's what I want. It's 1,000 pieces. Sit me down. There you go. My little jeans, my little glasses, and my Babe Ruth thing tomorrow. And I can have the Lion game. I can bet all I want. Little cocktail, little Dylan thing with the complete unknown. And let me sit there. It's 1,000 pieces. It's all black and white. There's no color jigsaw pieces. It is hard to do, but I want to do it. Okay. And I want to do it alone.
Okay.
Did anybody pick up?
Doing that alone.
Stephen A., I just want to let you know, in case you didn't know, Mad Dog's an only child, so that explains a lot.
There's no doubt.
Did y'all pick up on what he said? Did y'all pick up on what he said? He said he wanted her to put the plate of food and just slide it by the door. So in other words, Doggy wants to be treated like a dog.
Okay.
All right. There is so much to digest there with that. For those, by the way, Jeannie is his wife, the one who he says doesn't want her around. Okay. There's so many attacks on so many people, which is wonderful. Let's start with his Thanksgiving scenario where he just wants to be left alone by himself. I'm in on that. I like that part of it. I would not say that about my wife and kids, though. He wants out, and he's got 4 children.
Okay.
4 of them. So he wants no part of any of them. All right? That we could sit there and debate all day long. But there were 2 attacks with other people on this show. One was Pat Costello, CC, and the other was Michelle Smallman.
Correct.
Let's start with Pat. Pat, you are bothered by the jigsaw puzzle with Doggy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like he just must be a big fan of I'm Over It. I don't know. He comes in ranting about wanting to do more puzzles. If only he would have paid attention a month ago, that's what we talked about, if not longer. I don't even remember. But yeah, I'm basically living Mad Dog's life.
You are.
He's always been a big puzzle guy. Loves puzzles. Now, Smalls, you are an only child.
Indeed, I am.
Doggy is an only child. Molly said he is like this because he's an only child. Your thoughts?
Not all only children like to be isolated. I'm an only child, and I love to be around people. I've sometimes been known to be quite the social butterfly, especially at the holidays, on the holidays. So I understand the thought process that Molly had, but I'm here to tell you that's blasphemous against only children. Just because we grew up without siblings does not mean that we like to be alone all the time. But I have one more thing there.
Yeah.
I think he was actually subconsciously taking a diss at all of us.
Why is that?
Who are here today and our beautiful, unsportsmanlike pajama sets and the onesies because we know on Thanksgiving you're going to eat a lot. We need to have some room to eat. We need to feel comfortable. So we're setting the tone. Did you see how Dog said, I want to be left alone in my jeans and my sweater? Jeans on Thanksgiving?
No shot.
What are we doing?
So are you guys all wearing this same outfit for the rest of the day? Like, can I wear this home today and just wear it around my house?
Well, of course. It's your house. Do whatever you want.
All right. I may do that. There was one other thing. So Smalls and I witnessed this yesterday. He's walking around here and literally going up to every single person. Have you seen the trailer for the Bob Dylan movie, Complete Unknown? It's very good. He literally stopped Smalls and I to ask us if we've seen the trailer to the Bob Dylan movie that with Timothée Chalamet that comes out in December. Who cares if we've seen the trailer for the Bob Dylan movie?
Didn't you just do that with a Shine documentary?
You
20 minutes ago?
Wait, hold on. The Shine documentary about the rapper turned politician Shine was made by Anscape, which is part of ESPN, which is on Hulu, which ESPN is in partnership with.
Yeah,
so
but,
at least
we
I'm
hit the break and you were like, Katie, did you see the Shine documentary? You should watch it.
Yeah. It's a good
did the same thing.
You did do that.
And the problem was, I asked these guys, I was like, do you guys know who Shine is? And both
the rapper.
But Pat and Cam, who are 20-something years old, have no idea who Shine is. Smalls has no idea who Shine is.
If I could start from scratch a song with Def Jam. That guy? No? It's great.
I have no idea.
Oh, now I know.
Okay, so he's officially out of Money in the Jar.
I'm trying to give you context as to who the rapper Shine is.
Starting tomorrow, you got to put money in the jar.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that, Canty.
Man, why? Listen, Nuno. Listen, we're almost through the Thanksgiving Day show with nobody being fired. Let's keep it that way, please,
I have no
sir.
idea what he said.
I missed it.
No, I know, and I'm glad you don't. Because Nuno just showed me that he doesn't like me by the seed he just planted in my head, which I can't now unthink.
Nuno's a bad teammate.
Did he do it on the air or off the air?
He did it
He's
off
a
the air.
terrible guy.
I did it off the air.
Wait a minute. Nuno, you're feeding him comments he should make.
No, he shouldn't make.
No,
I shouldn't make them. No, this
comments
is
he
something that
shouldn't make.
I absolutely shouldn't say.
So why would you be fed those comments?
Because Nuno's a bad guy.
It's
Plus, he's
around
off
why
tomorrow.
Shine went to jail, and that's why I can't say it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely don't go there.
That's my point.
Yeah.
It's a
He went to jail. In the
terrible
documentary, they
teammate.
document that he went to jail for 9 years for something he didn't do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Someone else in the news.
Someone say he was a fall guy.
What are we doing?
I'm not doing anything.
Nuno,
I was
why?
playing funny doggy
Why?
stuff.
Literally 10 seconds left in the show. Why, Nuno?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Text Canty. Greeny up next. We're on to Friday. Unsportsmanlike.
FX's Say Nothing.
We thought joining the IRA was the noblest thing a person could do.
Northern Ireland, 1971.
They could beat us, they could shoot us, but the one thing they could never get us to do was talk.
Based on the true story and the New York Times bestseller.
You were taught that you were fighting in the name of the people. And I think people should know that it's all lies.
FX's Say Nothing. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and sauté. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Black Friday doorbusters mean big savings at Lowe's. It's your chance to score a Blackstone 22-inch 2-burner gas griddle for just $149. That's a savings of $80. And save $800 on a Whirlpool side-by-side stainless steel refrigerator. Was $16.99, now just $8.99. Set your alarm. These deals won't last long, so don't wait to start saving before they're gone. Because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/29 through 12/2. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The back seat. Check the back seat.
All right, come here.
Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the back seat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Lions should have receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown when they host the Bears in the first NFL game on this Thanksgiving Day. He is expected to play. Running back David Montgomery listed as questionable. Detroit's trying to win its 10th consecutive game. Giants likely star quarterback Drew Lock in place of the injured Tommy DeVito against the Cowboys. Dallas tight end Jake Ferguson and right guard Zach Martin are both out. Green Bay receiver Romeo Doubs and quarterback Jair Alexander will not play versus Miami tonight. UConn men's basketball team waiting for word on test results of leading scorer Alex Caravan, who was taken via ambulance to a Maui hospital after suffering a head injury late in the loss to Dayton. 5-time Grand Slam tennis champion and the second-ranked woman in the world, Iga Swiatek, accepted a 1-month suspension after testing positive for a banned substance, a heart medication known as TMZ.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Yes. So crazy right now. Most incredibly happy Thanksgiving. It is Greeny, ESPN Radio, ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Tune in, iHeartRadio app, all over the place. Your smart speaker, maybe you're in your kitchen looking for a way to listen. Just say, play ESPN Radio on that smart speaker. Greeny, presented by Progressive Insurance. I'm Gabe Neitzel, along with Randy Scott, as we are in on Greeny today. Randy, good to see you, buddy. What are the plans later today? What are the big Thanksgiving plans for Randy Scott?
I'm not trying to come out of the gates with a hot take. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. This is a work day, football day for you. As well as the Packers are in the nightcap, or rather the nightcap tonight.
Yeah, the nightcap.
We don't. So when I say I'm not trying to come out with a hot take, we just don't do turkey in my house. So I'm hosting this year, and man, as has been the tradition for probably a decade now, there's no bird, but there is a lot of barbecue. A lot of barbecue. So we do a sides-giving. We'll have all the, the stuffing and the cranberry sauce and the green beans and the mac and cheese and the cornbread and everything else. We'll do all that, but then we'll just do burnt ends and pulled pork and pulled chicken and 4 different kinds of pies. You know what I mean? We'll do apple and pumpkin and pecan and then also key lime. So like we just kind of do it a little
big curveball there. Did not see that coming.
No, we're gonna zag on you. So that's our thing, and there'll be a little bit of wine for the grown-ups and a little bit of A little bit of that fake wine for the kids, the Welch's sparkling grape, and they have their own little plastic champagne flutes or wine glasses, and we just...
I love that.
Yeah, we do it that way. So, I don't know. What about you guys? What do you got going on?
Well, so normally we do this huge Neitzel family Thanksgiving. It fell apart for a number of different reasons, which made me a little bit sad, but because I'm doing this, I've got stuff later today with the Packers. My parents and one of my uncles actually coming to our house. My wife and I bought our first house back in February, so it's the first time we're hosting. So I'm actually multitasking while we're doing this radio show, so shout out to modern technology. I have a turkey in my smoker back at my house, and I am able to just monitor the temperature, make sure everything's going with an app on my phone. So I am multitasking. I am cooking the turkey while we're going to be talking some football.
That's what they originally, when they set that soggy, stinky, leather-buckled shoe onto Plymouth Rock back in 1620. They thought one day we're going to be able to cook a bird and provide a feast with an app on our phones while firing out hot takes about NFL football.
Yeah,
and Hezekiah turned to Ezekiel and said, "What's NFL football?" And then he was burned at the stake for questioning it. That's what happened. That's history. That's what they don't tell you.
You can't question. Those are just facts that we provide you here on Greeny, ESPN Radio. It is a fun day of football and feasting. And what's interesting, Randy, is all three home teams are favored, and they're favored by 3.5 or more. If you had to say one home favorite today of the three games, of course, we start with Lions-Bears. The middle game is Giants-Cowboys, and then the Packers are hosting the Miami Dolphins later tonight at Lambeau Field. Which home favorite do you think would be on upset alert the most?
Okay, man, it's funny. It's funny for me to sit here and be like, I don't want to come out with hot takes, so this is just quality radio and whatever. And then I'm going to throw out the fact that the Lions are my team on upset alert.
What? So you're taking the biggest spread of the day, and you're saying they are the ones who are on upset alert. Okay, so right now, within 4 minutes of the show, you have said, I don't want any hot takes. You provided 2.
Yes.
So hopefully, that's the pace you have to keep. Just 2
That's it.
Every 4 minutes.
It's a Family Guy rate, right? The Family Guy rate. Someone has seriously taken like a season's worth of Family Guy episodes and tried to crystallize the frequency of jokes, of callbacks and jokes or whatever, and it's like every 30 seconds. It's something obscene. No, okay, yeah, turkey is overrated. I think if you're honest with yourself, even if it's deep fried, so much of it goes to waste because nobody really likes it. But I think the Lions truly are vulnerable because they have shown that they are in this spot. The script, it's deja vu. Last season, you go back, they obviously hosted Thanksgiving. They hosted the Packers. I don't need to tell you this. You're just kind of nodding along. I'm not trying to mansplain Thanksgiving football history to you. Yeah, but you had a guy in Jordan Love who maybe wasn't a rookie, but it was his first year as a starter, and he comes in. He's playing like pretty peaks and valleys, rookie quarterback football, kind of mid football. They go in against then an 8-2 Lions team, right at home, and they jumped on him.
It was supposed to be the Lions' coronation. Like, we have watched the Lions on Thanksgiving for years and years and years, and now finally, they're not just mediocre. They might not just provide. No, they are 8-2 and one of the best teams in football.
Yes.
And they got punched in the mouth.
And what are they this year? 10-1 and the best team in football. The favorite right now to not only get to, but win the Super Bowl. And they have a rookie quarterback coming in who's been playing like over the last 2 weeks, it's a Thomas Brown offensive coordinator change, has been playing good football. Like, Caleb Williams has been playing good football over the last 2 weeks. And where are the Lions gettable on the defensive side of the football this year, just like last year, in the secondary? If Caleb Williams doesn't come out and take deep shots the way Jordan Love did last year, Packers put up 20 points in the first quarter last year, jumped all over a sleepy crowd and a sleepy team. It's an 11:30 local time, or it's an early kick, earlier than usual, 12:30 kick. The Lions are gettable in this spot early, and if you do that, you make them one-dimensional. You take some of the ground and pound, the Sonic and Knuckles, the David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs show, some of that off of the table. Right now, David Montgomery's playing through a shoulder injury. He will play because he's going against his former team, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is nicked up. Like, there's enough there to where you think short week, sleepy team. Are they going to go 16-1? They have to have a loss down the stretch at some point. Maybe it's today against a desperate team and a rookie quarterback that's been playing better football and a divisional opponent. We've seen last week showed us, right? Last week, Tennessee jumped up and got Houston on the road, whatever it is. divisional games can be different, Gabe.
Yeah, as an aside, Sonic and Knuckles is the best running back nickname tandem, right?
It's a good movie franchise too. Do you have kids? Have you? I forget, Gabe. Have you been exposed to some of these movies?
I have not been exposed. I mean, I'm very familiar. I played a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog when I was a kid on Sega Genesis. I have not seen the movies though.
Okay, they're funny. Like Jason Schwartz? It's John Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He voices Sonic. He's sarcastic. There are a lot of Easter eggs for adults, and then James Marsden's in there, and Jim Carrey. Oh my God, Jim Carrey is Eggman. Jim Carrey's the villain. It's like for people our age, there's enough for us to enjoy, not just what kids like, for sure.
Well, maybe I'll have to check that out. Of course, not today because there's too much football on today. But to your point about the divisional games, the Bears, and they went from scoring 15, 9, and 3 in the 3 games before they decided they needed to fire Shane Waldron. And they scored 19 against the Packers. Doesn't seem like a high total, but they were in position to win that game. It was a low possession game. Both teams just ran the football. It was a quick game, not a lot of opportunities to score a ton of points. They should have won that game, but they had a field goal blocked. And then they had an opportunity to beat the Minnesota Vikings. This is their third divisional game in a row, first one on the road. But to your point, it's like they finally realized, oh, we should be developing Caleb Williams the way everybody else developed young quarterbacks. Yeah. Oh, just have him. Oh, wait, we have an athletic quarterback? What if we just tell him, hey, if that first or second read isn't there, feel free to run with the football. And that has really just opened a lot of things up. He was holding onto the football forever. Now he's getting it out of his hands the last couple of games. It hasn't resulted in wins, but they are playing better. The Packers, Vikings, 2 pretty good teams this year that they played to almost winning, having a field goal blocked as time expired, and then going to overtime against Minnesota.
No, they're playing a Lions team that I want to be clear because the Lions have been America's team for all of the lovable loserness involved with this national showcase over the years where, it's Madden and Summerall and they're rolling into town and they got the turducken and, whatever else. And you just want to see Barry Sanders or you want to see Rodney Peete or, Matt Stafford through the years. Megatron had a couple of good Thanksgiving games. Like they are a likable team. And when I say that, I want to say these defensive numbers are a little skewed because the Lions defense spends so much time on the field because their offense is quick strike. Like their offense is putting up 50 points a game, and it puts their defense in a position to sort of, bend but don't break with regard to yardage. So you can look at it and say they give up 322 yards on average a game, and that's sort of middle of the pack. And okay, but the game flow has kind of dictated some of that, but there is a talent deficiency in the secondary and a team that is starting to actualize and recognize its own offensive talent in the pass game, just like you said, through an athletic quarterback that's sort of been unlocked a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Like it's no coincidence we've seen DJ Moore have his best games of the season lately. Same with Keenan Allen.
We saw this a year ago with Chicago. And different team, obviously, but they make a trade at the trade deadline, and then Montez Sweat helps take that team. Over the second half, that defense played tremendous. Probably saved Matt Eberflus's job. Could we see that? But on the offensive side, if the Bears find a way to win, because they have been competitive, very competitive, I should say, against the Packers and Vikings the last 2 weeks, if they go into Detroit and upset the Lions, like you think they might have the possibility of doing, can they go on a run and potentially save Matt Eberflus's job? Because he is one that I think right now everyone's going, well, Bears are going to be looking for a new head coach next year. He's on this, basically fired, and they're going to be looking for a new head coach. But can they save his job if they go on a run?
Yes, absolutely they can. Absolutely, because you can point to Shane Waldron as the fall guy. You can point to him as that was the problem. It's not me, it's he, right? I mean, we see that from head coaches who are desperate. But what you just said, that last year, the defensive stand and Montez Sweat's acquisition and like that saved Eberflus. How many lives does an NFL coach have in the same franchise? Understanding and acknowledging that even by NFC North standards, and I mean this as a compliment, even by NFC North standards, the Bears are a loyal franchise, loyal to a fault to their head coaches. They don't fire mid-season, regardless of how embarrassing this could be today. And I acknowledge I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth when I say that the Lions, to me, the Lions are the most vulnerable of the home teams. But I think you and I both could see a scenario where the Bears get their doors beaten off, just absolutely blown off. Like, you could, even regardless of losing in embarrassing fashion on a national stage, the Bears will not fire Matt Eberflus mid-season. They won't do it over the holiday weekend. They won't do it mid-season. So can the offense save him, the original question? Absolutely. Because if now it is a gauntlet down the stretch. If they win 2 to 3 of these difficult games, they have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL. Strength of schedule, number 1 with a bullet. They win 2 or 3 of those games, that's enough.
That's because the crazy part is they didn't play their first divisional game until they played the Packers a couple of weeks ago, and that's the best division in football. So now you've got to play all those teams with tremendous records 2 times over the final half of the schedule. So it becomes very difficult for the Bears.
And the Niners and Seahawks are mixed in.
Oh, yeah, by the way. And, maybe the Niners are healthy by then. Yeah, good luck with that, Chicago. But you are not alone, Randy Scott. You are not alone in thinking that maybe Matt Eberflus could keep his job. Chris Canty, host of Unsportsmanlike this week, said the same thing.
If the Bears finish at 7-10, which is the exact same record that they have last year, I would make the case for Matt Eberflus to keep his job. I think that the continuity element is important. You knew that you were starting a rookie quarterback. Your defense has been up for the challenge. I mean, the team is showing me that they're not quitting on Matt Eberflus, which is what you wanted to see. It's what we saw last year when they won 5 of their final 8 games. If they're somehow, some way able to get 3 more wins, I would be standing on the table that Matt Eberflus should keep his job as the Chicago Bears head coach because it's in the best interest of Caleb Williams' long-term development.
I agree with Canty in that that's very important. Continuity, very important. There's a reason why the Steelers have been good since the 70s, because they've had 3 head coaches in that time that have all been very, very good, right?
Yeah.
But bad continuity is not good. Continuity for continuity's sake is not good. And that's where I would make the argument. I would fall on the Chris Carlin side of this because, Chris likes to go after, Carlin likes to go after his former radio partner in Canty. And this is what Carlin had to say on Carlin versus Joe this week, responding to Canty's idea that Eberflus could save his job.
No. And the reason being is that we've seen enough. We have seen Matt Eberflus screw this up. They kept him this past offseason with all of this in mind. The worst thing that you can do is double down on what's a mistake. And last year, they opted to keep him. If you keep him now, you're talking about keeping him for 3 more years. Same thing we've talked about with Dable. You can't do that. I understand the situation that you're in with Caleb Williams and wanting continuity. And I agree how important that is. I don't need continuity of bad coaching. That's bad.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with what Carlin said more. What? Now, I mean, look, I understand that what you have going with Thomas Brown is good. And I wouldn't be the biggest fan, but we've seen teams do it before where they fire the head coach and whoever they bring in say, hey, we think our quarterback and the offensive coordinator have a great relationship. So if you're going to be our head coach, you've got to keep this guy as the offensive coordinator. I wouldn't love that, but that could be a way the Bears go as well.
I don't know why keeping him means 3 to 4 more years. I don't think those two are necessarily a lock, like if this, then that. But I understand the gist of what he's saying. I think offensive improvement is what you're hoping for when you take a quarterback number 1 overall.
Greeny is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive is helping to drive veterans' lives forward through their Keys to Progress program. So the offense is trying to save Matt Eberflus's job in Chicago. Meanwhile, it's the offense that could get another coach fired. We dive into that. Gabe Neitzel, along with Randy Scott, in on Greeny, ESPN Radio, including on TuneIn.
Championship weekend is next weekend on ESPN Radio. It all kicks off with the AAC Championship next Friday, followed by the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship and the ACC Championship on Saturday. The magic continues. It's Championship weekend next weekend on ESPN Radio and on ABC.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
This college football moment is brought to you by Serve Pro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. For instance, on September 21st, 2019, UCLA trailed Washington State 49-17 with under 7 minutes left in the third quarter. From that point forward, the Bruins erased that 32-point deficit, outscoring the Cougars 50-14 to win 67-63.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
This is Seattle Sports.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When I wake up,
the best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Make this holiday season extra special in the kitchen of your dreams while saving thousands. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. Our own craftsmen will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it off with a beautiful quartz countertop, all in about a week. Book now and we'll be able to schedule the installation of your new kitchen before the holidays, and you'll receive an additional 15% up to $3,000 off. Call today and schedule a free in-home consultation where we'll bring a showroom to you. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com. That's heritagehomecraft.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
So I have a mouse. No big deal.
Actually, mice contaminate food and spread disease.
Daddy, a wasp.
It's too cold for wasps, honey.
Actually, fall is when stinging insects are most aggressive.
So I saw a cockroach. Okay, 3. It's no emergency.
Actually, cockroaches can trigger asthma and spread disease. Household pests are a health threat. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Subscribers get even more of the sports and teams that you love. You can now stream 6 months of SiriusXM on us for even more live games, sports talk, music, and podcasts all at your fingertips. Wherever you go, score even more with ESPN Plus and get 6 months of SiriusXM app today. You just need an active ESPN Plus subscription. Get all the details at espnplus.com/SiriusXM. Eligibility and offer details apply.
The Cowboys look to make it 2 in a row as they host the New York Giants.
Drew Lock is going to be in line to make his first start this season.
To blow the job, always got to be ready.
We're a damn good football team. The score don't really show how good we actually are.
It is Greeny on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80. Gabe Neitzel, Randy Scott in for Greeny today. You can always hit us up, the Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Middle game of the day, right around nap time for a lot of people. But it won't be nap time for our next guest, Jordan Run-On. He is covering the game, ESPN NFL Nation Giants reporter. Jordan, happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate the time, buddy. What's the latest on Tommy DeVito?
Yeah, DeVito had an arm injury that he suffered late in Sunday's blowout loss to the Bucs, like in the final seconds, it seems. And he had an MRI yesterday. I believe it came back clean, but there's a very, very slim chance that Tommy DeVito ends up playing today. The Giants listed him as questionable. But I'd say like 99% Drew Lock is probably going to start. Tommy DeVito likely will be the third emergency quarterback just in case, and they need someone to probably hand the ball off because with the time in the short week, it's just not possible for him to be ready. Like if you're a quarterback, you kind of need to throw. So Drew Lock, it's Drew Lock season. So this is like so, appropriate for the Giants season. They skip over Drew Lock, who was the backup after benching Daniel Jones, to start Tommy DeVito. One game in, Tommy DeVito gets injured, and now they have to go to the guy who was number 2 the whole time in Drew Lock for the world to see on Thanksgiving.
It's funny when you say, like, hey, it's important for a quarterback to have to throw the football, and it's like, well, then why were the options Daniel Jones and Drew Lock and now Tommy DeVito in the first place? But when you look at Lock today, if he plays well, what happens? How's that going to make Brian Daboll look after, as you said, going to DeVito first? If Drew Lock plays well today, what does that say?
Yeah, it's not going to look good. He's kind of in a no-win situation because if he plays well, it's like, why'd you skip him over, right?
Yeah.
And if he plays poorly, it's like, why'd you guys sign him in the first place, right? Because you gave him $5 million. You gave him $5 million guaranteed, and then you just skipped him over anyway, and you realized he wasn't that good. So, they really can't win here. But here's the bottom line: Brian Daboll's got to win some games. He knows that, and so if he plays well, we're going to keep seeing Drew Lock. He doesn't care what the perception is at this point. I don't care who you are. But if you're in year 3 and year 2 was a disaster, you had to fire basically half your staff, or half your staff got fired or left, and this year is going off the rails. The locker room, they played soft last week, and then they come back with this messaging on this week, and they say after going over film, which by the way Brian Daboll showed him a lot of positives, a good chunk or mostly positives from a couple players I talked to. By the way, they were down 30-0. To the Bucs in that game. Uh-huh. Okay, and then the messaging is, soft wasn't the right word. This is the messaging that come out. Soft wasn't the right word. It was more technique. Like, technique? You're down 30-0. Like, you're 30 points worse in technique than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, that's not even. You guys tell me. I might be too close to the situation. How does that make sense to anybody?
It does. I mean, if it makes you feel better, Jordan, it does not make any sense to me. I cannot make, 30 points worse in technique. That certainly does not make any sense. Jordan Run-On, ESPN NFL Nation Giants reporter, joining us here on Greeny. Gabe Neitzel, Randy Scott. So you bring up that word soft that was said by Malik Neighbors. Do you expect some sort of response? What type of response do you expect from the Giants after Malik Neighbors called the team soft?
Yeah, but the thing, it wasn't even Malik Neighbors. More than that, I think it was Dexter Lawrence. He said they played soft. That's Dexter Lawrence. He thinks there's a difference. I don't know. Again, I'm having trouble deciphering these things here. You played soft or you are soft. They kind of go hand in hand in this case. But yeah,
either way, it's not a compliment.
No, either way, it's terrible. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think. What does it really matter? Look, I can't sit here and tell you they're going to respond and have pride because coming out of their bye week, I thought, oh yeah, they're going to put out a decent effort. They're going to at least fight against the Bucs, and they were down 30-0. So how can I sit here and tell you, yeah, I expect this team to respond and be fine and show that they do have pride because they just crumbled last week, and I was, like I said, off a bye week. So it's a wait and see. But that's kind of where this team is at this point. They're 2-9. They're one of the worst teams in the league. They're record-wise, they're tied for that. And their quarterback situation is in shambles. They benched their starter, and now their preferred second guy is now injured. So, I can't sit here and be overly confident. Maybe you guys are. I will say this. You guys tell me this is interesting. They're only 3.5-point underdogs. I thought that was kind of like a head-scratcher. Like, that's one of those where Vegas is, like, begging you to pick against the Giants.
Yeah, and that's especially with the way the Cowboys fans get to the window or get to the ESPN Bet app or whatever it is, or in our case here, wear a Micah Parsons jersey on Thanksgiving Day as Bubba is doing, which prompted Evan to be like, "Is that Wade Wilson?" And just and then it's Drew Bledsoe, and then you think of other number 11s for the Cowboys. But listen, you summarized it so well, Jordan. You do, as you so often do. It's 2-9. It's an embarrassment. Whatever, however you want to phrase it. Who's to blame for it? Who's to blame? Who is most to blame? No, don't blame Pie this. Who is most to blame for where this franchise is right now?
I think you have to go with the architect in that case, because the guy who put it together is Joe Shane. They're in year 3, and you can make the argument, are they really any closer than they were to being a good team when he got here? Because they still have a huge question mark at the most important position. Depth is a major problem. The second they had injuries, this team has fallen apart. I know Bubba's going to like this, is that Micah Parsons getting to go against 2 backup offensive tackles. It's Chris Hubbard and Evan Neal. So, it's a good day to wear a Micah Parsons jersey for sure. And so, yeah, I think that's where you have to start, because this team, you could see it in training camp. I mean, we were like, wow, this team just isn't talented enough, like, to be a good team. Like, if they have injuries, they're going to fall apart. What happens? They had some injuries. Andrew Thomas, the left tackle, got injured. He might be one of the most indispensable player on this team. And they fell apart. And their quarterback position still is completely unsettled. So, yes, this year's draft looks promising. Like, Tyrone Tracy's a good player. Malik Neighbors looks like he's going to be a stud. Andrew Phillips, a third-round cornerback, looks good. But overall, the roster is just not good enough. Now, there's other things we could pick on. Daniel Jones is an easy target. He wasn't good enough. Brian Dable hasn't done a very good job. They've made mistakes left and right. So there's plenty of blame to go around. But if you made me pick one, I have to start with the architect of the team, Joe Shane.
Jordan, certainly appreciate the time. And what do you do when you're on the road like this? You're down in Dallas getting ready to cover this game. Do you even try to get a little taste of Thanksgiving, or you just wait until you get back home?
You're underestimating the way that the Cowboys take care of you. First of all, the spread, even for a normal game, is pretty, it's the best in the league by far. Okay? And since I've been here before for Thanksgiving, because the Giants were here 2 years ago, thanks a lot, NFL schedule maker, they have an excellent Thanksgiving spread where they have 2 carving tables, plate of the green beans and Brussels sprouts and the mac and cheese. I'm talking like they do it right here. This is like restaurant quality stuff. So the spread is actually excellent. And of course, there's the whole dessert tray table. And so, you get a good meal. Now, I'm not sure we're going to get good football, but we'll get a good meal. Gabe, I need to know about you, because if I remember right, your eating habits are a little quirky. I think I remember once you had you had 2 fast food servings in the same day, I believe, when I worked.
No, that's somebody else. I think you're confusing me with somebody else. Although I will let you know, because I did say this when we started the show, Jordan, I am hosting Thanksgiving for the very first time, so I am multitasking. I am hosting this very fine program with Randy Scott while smoking a turkey back home, and I'm able to monitor everything with the turkey from an app I have on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's high tech. That is. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Well,
I saw in the news here in Dallas, everybody, the preference is clearly to smoke the turkey, which is the right thing to do, I have to say.
Yeah, fried turkey will change your life, but turkey overall, Jordan's overrated. Well, it's just overrated.
I'm scared to do the fried turkey
100%.
thing, though.
You go to a restaurant, any of the other 300-plus days of the year, you're going steak over turkey any day of the week.
Yes.
And it's not even you don't even think about it. So I agree, but it is kind of the symbol of the holiday. So.
Yeah, it is the symbol of the holiday. Got to lean into it. Got to lean into it, Jordan. We appreciate the time, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the game down in Dallas.
Have a good show, guys. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Later, buddy.
Jordan Raanan, ESPN
best,
NFL
man.
Nation Giants reporter. Man, I have no idea. Like, seriously, I do not eat a lot of fast food. And then to be accused of eating 2 fast food servings in one show with him, oof,
But
that's a hefty accusation.
You guys have Culvers out there, so you'd be forgiven.
We do have Culvers out here.
He was pretty adamant it was you. I don't know.
Yeah. You're trusting Jordan over me, Bubba?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I mean, I want to know who it is now. If it's not you, who is it?
Yeah, that is a great question. Who would that potentially be here at ESPN Radio?
I feel like there are a lot of options of ESPN Radio people who love fast food.
Well, I mean, it just becomes, again, you work in the media industry. You're working odd hours. A lot of times the only thing that's open is going to be whatever random fast food restaurants after a game, after a late shift, something like that.
That's why Chinese food on Christmas, man, when I worked in local TV, it was tremendous. It was true. You'd have the best spreads. They were appreciative of the business. We were appreciative they were open. Like, yeah, that was Fort Myers, like 4 straight Christmases, man.
What's the go-to order at the Chinese restaurant?
Right down Palm Beach Boulevard. Dude, that place made me a beef and broccoli fan. That place on Palm Beach Boulevard in Fort Myers. Otherwise, it's like Szechuan chicken. Give me all the chickens. Kung Pao, General Tso's, sweet and sour, all of it. All of it. Fried rice.
Be a part of Greeny Nation on the Dr. Pepper Call Online, ESPN Nation, presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. So it was an interesting question that you asked Jordan at the end of his appearance. Jordan Raanan, thank you to him, ESPN, NFL Nation Giants reporter. Who is most to blame for the Giants' issues? Is it Joe Schoen? Is it Brian Dable? Daniel Jones is the owner? Is it John Mara? Like there are a lot of options here for who is to blame for where the Giants are now, because it wasn't that long ago, Randy, that they were a team that went into Minnesota, won a playoff game. Things looked like they were pointing in the upward trajectory. Now they let 2 stars walk this offseason. They just cannot put anything together. They've already cut Daniel Jones. Who is the biggest person to blame for the Giants' issues?
It is Joe Schoen. I believe in the Mara family, and I'm not just saying this, to capitulate off of what's been an interesting week. Right in the relationship, I think, between ESPN and the Giants. I feel like there've been some headlines, but I've met randomly run across a couple members of the Mara family at different spots, and they've just been relatively down to earth for people who have more money than God. And I think that they're invested in their franchise. I think there are absentee owners in the NFL. I think there are owners who are too hands-on. And as I look at a Cowboy jersey on the other side of the glass, and listen, the owner of my favorite NFL team cuts his own hair. Mark Davis. So, so who's to say who's doing it the right way? But I think they care. I think they are an old money franchise in the NFL. I think the league's better when they're relevant. And I think, whether we want it or not, we're going to get 6, night Giants games shoved down our throats regardless. They might as well be good, right? We might as well be watching good football. So I say that as sort of an unaffiliated football fan. It's like, I want to see this team be relevant. I want to see this team tread water and not drown as they have been in recent seasons. So it's not an ownership issue to me. It's a roster building issue. It's if you don't and Gabe, listen, man, like I know you know this because everything you've said, online and offline between you and I about a franchise like the Steelers, right? Who've only had 3 head coaches in the last century. When you have quarterback stability the way you guys have had in Green Bay for so long, it gives you a shot every season. It gives you a chance, and when you don't have it, again, Raider fan here, when you don't have it, and we're talking about the Giants, and they don't have it, it can absolutely submarine an otherwise talented roster because, as Jordan said, Tracy's a talented running back. Malik Neighbors is the truth at wide receiver. Theo Johnson is emerging as a tight end. There are pieces on this team, but they come out of the gate spotting the other team 10 to 14 points. Their offensive ceiling so low because of the quarterback position.
Yeah, this is 100% on Joe Schoen. I think this was a bad hire by the Mara family, and that happens. You just hire the Mara, like you said, they care. And I think if you paid attention to the off-season Hard Knocks, they let their opinions be known. Obviously, they didn't want Saquon to walk out the door. was very, hey, if Saquon walks out the door, especially if he goes to the Eagles, I think that's really going to hurt.
Yeah.
But he just lets the opinion be known. It's not like hey, I am putting my foot down. I am going to make my football people do this because I want it. That doesn't seem like the type of ownership that the Giants have. And I think that's a good thing because it's easier to fix. You look across the street and what Woody Johnson was doing earlier this year, reportedly trying to have to be talked off a ledge of benching Aaron Rodgers after week 4. When your owner starts inserting him or themselves to that point of, hey, this is what we're doing from a football. I mean, these are very qualified people to run businesses. They're not qualified people to be making football decisions. You hire the football people to do that, and Joe Shane was the wrong one. It happens. You move on, you hire a new GM, and that's why I think the Giants can turn this around faster than some other teams because of their ownership.
They're going to have a high draft pick in a class where there is quarterback talent, yes. But I think you just showed when you have an improper chef back there, you know what I mean? When you have when you need Guy Fieri back there and you have like Guy Fieri and you're like, oh, this Temu brand, this
Fieri?
Yeah, this wish.com Guy Fieri back there, like it can set your franchise back, not just nuke your season as one bad quarterback can. When you have a bad chef, I mean, you're set back a presidential administration.
So you bring up the draft. There has been one team that's consistently kind of connected to the quarterback who's likely going to go number 1 overall as we sit here at the end of November. But there was also a suggestion on ESPN.com not that long ago from Matt Moore during a mock draft that he did that Shedeur Sanders could maybe end up in New York with the Giants because they have that high draft pick. What's a better landing spot for Shedeur and or Dion if they end up being a pair? The Giants or the Cowboys?
I mean, I'm looking at that clock like we got to go. What's a better? Man, Dallas would be fun. It would be more fun in terms of it being a disaster. But I think the Giants make more sense. The Giants make more sense, media market wise, talent wise. Shedeur to Malik Neighbors is a movie, and Shedeur can run around behind an offensive line that's a little generous. They are. You know, he's had to do that at a collegiate level. He could do that in the NFL. And I think the Mara family would let Dion try to instill his culture and give him some runway. I feel like Jerry and Dion, it would submarine their friendship to suddenly, friends become boss employee. That's a hard pass. That's a tough deal to make work in a fishbowl that is the Dallas Cowboys.
If you want Shedeur to succeed, the answer is the Giants. If you want the biggest circus as the most entertainment, just put the big top up. Then if he goes to the Cowboys, that is just that is going to be pure entertainment one way
100%.
or another. Yeah, just so many just different outcomes that could happen if indeed that were to be the direction. Meanwhile, there's a team in the NBA. It's starting to point downwards. Not going great, and their star had something to say about it after losing yet again last night. We dive into that next on Greeny with Gabe Neitzel and Randy Scott in for Greeny on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This week on Football Sunday on ESPN Radio.
20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Tampa Bay!
Baker Mayfield leads the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into Charlotte to face Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers.
Down he goes! What a run! First and goal, Carolina!
Coverage begins Sunday at 4 Eastern on select ESPN radio stations.
GNC is hitting the holidays hard this year with huge buy one, get one 50% off savings on all of your favorites. Yes, all, as in all your favorites from Ghost, Alani Nu, Prime, Optimum Nutrition, Beyond Raw, Nugenix, and more. Everything you need for the runners, lifters, yogis, and I gotta get in shapers on your list. Buy one, get one 50% off, and it's all happening now through December 3rd. Shop GNC and live well through the holidays.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
This is Seattle Sports.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free famous bowls from KFC, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Make this holiday season extra special in the kitchen of your dreams while saving thousands. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen, way easier and less expensive than a total tear-out. Book now, have your new kitchen before the holidays, and you'll save an additional 15% up to $3,000 off your new kitchen. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
What would motivate you to encourage your kid to work with me at Lee Johnson?
I still revert back to, if I work at a location and I'm willing to have my son work at this location, that should tell you a great deal. I didn't steer my son away, I steered my son to it. Because of the opportunities that are in front, and when you see it across multiple rooftops in multiple locations, it says a lot that you're willing to entrust your family member, your blood, sweat, and tears. You're willing to say, hey, this is a great place for them to be and work. If you take care of people, they take care of customers.
Sharing a good thing with family and friends comes easy at the Lee Johnson Auto family. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Take your game day experience to the next level with a Mariner Suite. Suites are perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, client meetings, and that company outing you've been trying to plan for months. Enjoy first-class catering, VIP parking, custom setups for 14 to 400 people, and more, all with the help of a dedicated Mariners rep. Suites start at $125 per person, and season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve now at mariners.com/suites.
Munoz strikes out the side, and the ball game is over.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555, or visit revivemenshealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used, and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, for a limited time, ask about an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ins 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio, streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Tulane has won 8 straight, led by running back Mekhi Hughes, who has 15 touchdowns. Can the Green Wave finish the regular season undefeated in the AAC? It's Memphis at number 17, Tulane tonight on ESPN. The player check-in brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Visit allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Along with Randy Scott, I'm Gabe Knight. So it's Greeny, ESPN Radio, ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Greeny is presented by Progressive Insurance. I know today is about the food, it's about football, and for most people, Randy, the NBA season doesn't truly start until the next holiday we hit, which is Christmas. But it's getting kind of late early for the Minnesota Timberwolves, as they have not been playing good basketball. Things have not been a seamless transition after trading away Karl Anthony Towns, getting Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo back, and they lost again last night. The Timberwolves now 8-10. They've lost 4 in a row. They've only won 3 of their last 10 games, and their star Anthony Edwards had this to say about the team's defense and identity post-game.
We looked like front runners for sure tonight. Like, we was down. Nobody wanted to say nothing. Then we got up. Then everybody like cheering and hype. And then we get down again and don't nobody say nothing. That's the definition of a front runner. And like, we as a team, including myself, we all were front runners tonight. And it was some for sure. Y'all bring it together. We've been trying to figure this out for the whole year, man. We thought this was defense was our identity, and it's not looking like it at all. We don't know what our identity right now. Me and Mike was talking about. I think we soft as hell, like as a team. Internally, like, you know what I mean? Like, not to the other team, but like internally, like, we soft. Like, we can't talk to each other. Just a bunch of little kids. It's just like we playing with a bunch of little kids, like everybody, like the whole team. We just can't talk to each other, you know. And we gotta figure it out, man, because we can't go down this road.
Them are fighting words, Randy Scott. Those are fighting words.
Yeah.
Calling the team soft to each other, inferring that they're all little kids that can't talk to each other. Things are going south quickly for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, man, there's a lot. There's a lot to dive into. I said pre-show meeting, I want someone to clip that off. I want someone to find that quote, text it to themselves, and when they're sitting at their family's Thanksgiving dinner today, Thanksgiving meal, say it verbatim. Look around the room at that family setting and say, we can't talk to each other. We're soft. We won't have these conversations. Like, you know, every family gathering has a little bit of an undercurrent. Like, maybe there's an uncle who drinks a little too much. Maybe there's a familial dynamic that you just want to exploit. You just kind of want to poke the scab for entertainment value. Like, that is what a family says to each other when they are, you know, at odds or in crisis or both, and that's what the Timberwolves are. I understand what he said. We can't say the hard things to each other, and that's the softness. That's part of it that they're talking about, because if you're grown men, if you're a family, you can say whatever it is. You know, that locker room is a sacred space. We can air this out. We can handle this ourselves, because we go out there on the court and we are off, just absolutely awful defensively. And to me, Gabe, like, I'm trying to find out what's different. And there's this obvious, like, okay, you lose a franchise cornerstone in Karl Anthony Towns. You know, that, listen, I'll say it, like, the Knicks are one of the softer teams in the NFL or the NBA. They were last year. And so you take one of their softest players in Julius Randle and you add him to your team, like, your own softness level is going to go up, right? Like, you're not going to get better defensively by adding Julius Randle. So like,
we thought defense was our identity.
Yeah.
You know, Julius Randle's in the starting lineup, right?
Yeah, defense.
We're all aware of this.
Defense and rebounding, and, you know, and then you keep, you know, Rudy Gobert, and your softness level is going to stay the same. Like, it's just how it works. So I'm not surprised by it, but that is the issue. Last year they were the best team in the NBA in terms of defensive efficiency. This year, they're 11th. They're even worse on the road. They're 20th in the NBA on the road, and that's where they've, that's where they got. They're 8-10. They're out of even the play-in scenario right now. It's early. It's 18 games in, but this is a team that played in the Western Conference Finals last year, and they look like not even a playoff team this year.
They don't, and when I hear this quote, I think of some of the things that Anthony Edwards would say post-game with Karl Anthony Towns sitting right next to him. And it seemed like at times he would say things that were very critical of Anthony, or excuse me, very critical of Cat, even though he's sitting right next to him. And again, you're going, oh, wow. These guys have that good of a relationship that Anthony Edwards can step up and say some of these critical things. Hey, man, this is what I've been telling you all along. You do this, you do this. Yeah. And, well, now that dynamic's gone. So clearly he doesn't have that same comfort level of being critical of Julius Randle, of Dante DiVincenzo, of Rudy Gobert, or they just don't take it the same way that Karl Anthony Towns did. I think that by trading away Karl Anthony Towns, they've changed this dynamic a lot more than they thought. Like, we all saw it on the outside. I don't know how they didn't see it on the inside. But this also goes back to the conversation we were just having about the New York Giants and how we think they can turn it around because of ownership. We don't know what the ownership situation in Minnesota is. And that may have played in to them trading away Karl Anthony Towns, not wanting to get into those luxury tax aprons and all those sorts of things that the NBA has now. And because of that, I think they may have torpedoed one of the more fun, young, exciting teams that I think was just on a rocket ship going towards a potential championship. And because you traded away Karl Anthony Towns, and what you got back wasn't all that great. I don't believe in the Minnesota Timberwolves. Even if they start playing better, I don't think they can compete with OKC, with the Suns, with the way the Warriors are playing right now.
Yeah, no, I don't think they can either. I think I'm not saying that they made their decision on Cat based on solely the Western Conference Finals last season, but I think they did see that there's just not enough basketball to go around between Cat and Anthony Edwards. I think it's a move that had to happen to give this team to Ant and let him continue to develop, because ideally you're thinking, man, this generational talent hasn't even reached his peak yet. We got to let him do that. We got to afford him that opportunity.
Yeah, and if he keeps getting this frustrated, you wonder how long he's going to want to stick around and be the cornerstone of that franchise. I hope he stays there. I'm a small-town guy. I'm Milwaukee. We've got Giannis. I want everybody to experience that. Can one team change their narrative tonight on Thanksgiving? It's next on Greeny on ESPN Radio.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
This is Seattle Sports.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Hey, are you looking to save on internet and mobile this holiday season? Well, good news. Xfinity is having a Black Friday sale. They have you covered with these great deals. Learn how to get your choice of a 5G phone on Xfinity. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price. So don't wait. Bring home a new 5G phone and get Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile. That's a big deal, or should I say a gig deal. Now through December 3rd, ask how to get your choice of free 5G phone with an unlimited plus line. Plus, get Xfinity Gigabit internet with free Wi-Fi equipment for only $25 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply, taxes and fees extra after promo, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires Xfinity Gateway. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
When you bring joy to a child's holiday, something happens. Your holiday season becomes more joyful too. Join Les Schwab and Fox 13 for the Les Schwab Fox 13 Toy Drive. Simply drop off new unwrapped toys at any one of the 83 Western Washington Les Schwab Tire Centers now through December 16th. Every child should get new toys for the holidays. It's the Les Schwab Fox 13 Toy Drive happening now.
Shane Company is your go-to destination for high-quality fine jewelry gifts. Come find beautiful gifts at competitive prices, from dream engagement rings to tennis bracelets, engravable charms, and more, all in stock and ready to give. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey folks, this is it. The best weekend of the year for buying a TV. Forget inflation, because now you've got deflation with Black Friday pricing on top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony. Where's the best place to shop? It's not the clubs or online. Join the smart shoppers heading for video only, because they've got better than Black Friday deals. That's right, better. Don't believe it? Then bring your prices to video only and compare before you buy. Or you'll be sorry. At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma. Video Only.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Lions riding a 9-game winning streak, expected to have receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown on the field in the first NFL game of this holiday when they host the Bears today. Running back David Montgomery listed as questionable. Detroit looking for its first ever 11-1 start. Cowboys will be without tight end Jake Ferguson and right guard Zach Martin against the Giants. Drew Lock likely starts in place of the injured Tommy DeVito for New York. Packers ruled out receiver Romeo Doubs and quarterback Jair Alexander versus the Dolphins tonight. UConn leading scorer Alex Caravan taken to a Maui hospital by ambulance after suffering a head injury late in the Dayton loss to undergo further testing. Five-time Grand Slam tennis champion and the second-ranked woman in the world, Iga Swiatek, accepted a 1-month suspension after testing positive for a banned substance, a heart medication known as TMZ.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Yes, so crazy right now. Most incredibly, it's your girl, me, it's your boy, Young.
Anytime we come in where the music is just it's a male-female duet, right? I don't know who's who. I don't know if I want to be Beyonce or Jay in this, but I know we're glad to have you on this special Thanksgiving edition of Greeny on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app and SiriusXM Channel 80 and TuneIn and iHeartRadio app and your smart speaker by saying play ESPN Radio. He is Gabe Neitzel of ESPN Milwaukee. You can hear him on the morning show 7 to 9 a.m. with our friend Jen Latta as well as Chewy, and then you can find him on on TV as well with On the Tee. That's at Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Gabe, happy Thanksgiving, you and yours. When I think of the Midwest, actually, Marcel Louis-Jacques is in Green Bay. He covers the Dolphins. He's been tweeting lovely pictures of cheese curds from various establishments. He's on a bit of a cheese curd tour. So when I think of the Midwest, I can't think of a single area of the country that probably does Thanksgiving better than most.
I mean, again, we are great at fried foods. We are great at alcohol, obviously known for the beer, but also brandy. If you are sitting down for Thanksgiving dinner without a brandy old-fashioned in the state of Wisconsin, I don't know if you're having Thanksgiving dinner in the state of Wisconsin. Brandy, we consume, I think, like 70% of the brandy in the United States solely here in the state of Wisconsin for our brandy old-fashioned.
I didn't know people were still drinking brandy. I thought that was more of like an outdated sort of, it's like brandy and smoking. I felt like it was kind of like an outdated, and like a Don Draper, like that scene in Mad Men where he kind of breaks away from the party and
jumps over the bar, makes himself an old fashioned.
Yes,
yeah.
Like I feel like he was probably Don Draper was using brandy back then.
Without a doubt. Next time you're in the state of Wisconsin, we'll get you a brandy old fashioned, my friend.
Hey, don't threaten me. Do not threaten me with a good time. Hey, the Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. You can hit us up with your own upset pick for today. There are 3 games on the slate. One of them, largely forgettable. As a nation, we're being punished with the Giants and the Cowboys. That's in the middle spot. You got Bears and Lions to tee things off. And then the nightcap is, of course, the Dolphins at the Packers. So hit us up with your own upset picks because the spreads are large in favor of the home teams. Which home team is the most vulnerable in your eyes today? And we're going to pose that same question right here to Gabe Neitzel. I picked the Lions. I said the 10-1 Lions. Don't be surprised if they get knocked off by the Bears today. Who's your upset?
I'm a little worried about this game for the Packers tonight at Lambeau Field. And I understand a lot of things going against the Dolphins, right? They don't travel well for the cold weather. 2-0-7 in games that are 40 degrees and under. It's going to be in the mid-20s up in Green Bay. I mean, right now it's 30 and feels like 18 in Milwaukee. So it's going to be chilly, especially once you hit that night game. But at the same time, Tua and the Dolphins are playing well. Yeah, they lost the first 2 games when he came back, but they were finally starting to score points. They're on a 3-game winning streak. He's 11 touchdowns, 1 interception in these 5 games. Jalen Waddle finally had a breakout game last week for the Dolphins. I'm a little bit worried about this Packers secondary. They're beat up, and they don't have Jair Alexander, who's going to be out with a knee injury, and the rest of their corners haven't really stood up to the task throughout the course of this season and haven't been really tested all that much. It's a tough week for the Packers. I mean, the same thing for the Dolphins, but it's a tough week for the Packers because they take a look at the other 2 games. Quick turnaround, especially for the Lions having to play this morning, but it's a common opponent in the Chicago Bears. For the Giants, for the Cowboys, common opponent in the Jets. Uncommon opponent from the AFC. So the game plan, you don't have as much time to do that. It's a short week. And the following week for the Packers, they are taking on the Detroit Lions on Thursday night. So it could be looking ahead a little bit, going, hey, we're feeling pretty good. We want revenge after they came into Lambeau and beat us 24-14. So a lot of different things working to me against the Packers that make me a little bit nervous about the Dolphins coming to town.
You hear that, folks, from Gabe Neitzel? We call that sandbagging. We call that sort of a reverse jinx, You ever had that in your fantasy football league where you have by far, you are favored to win by about 40 points. You just have the better team, and you get that preemptive, like 12:30 Sunday afternoon. You get that preemptive, like, hey, congrats on the win today from your friend, and you're just like, oh man, come on, don't give me that. Don't give me that reverse jinx. That's what that is from Gabe. That's exactly what that is. The Dolphins, the picture, you can see it. You can close your eyes, football fan. You can see what you're going to see tonight. Visualize it because you've seen it before. We have seen this movie before. We have seen Tua wearing a hand warmer, fanny pack. It's called a muff. Like you wear that around your midsection. You see Tyreek Hill running around in a hoodie. Everybody looks cold. Everybody acts cold. Everybody plays cold. Every incomplete pass, Tua blows on his hands. Every huddle, guys are stamping their feet to stay warm. One team it's like Bane. One team was born in the darkness. One thing thrives in it, and the other is the Dolphins. Like the cold is the bigger opponent. The cold beats the Dolphins before you even kick off. That's what we're going to see tonight. 11 straight. 3 straight losses in sub 40-degree temperatures. You're like, all right, that's just the Bills. They just lose to the Bills. They can't handle it. They lost to Kansas City at Arrowhead. Like, there's no shame in that. No, this happens everywhere. This happens around the country. Sub 40 degrees. This team freezes, and we're going to see it today. Now, I give you credit because Tua's been playing some good football. He really has. And the opportunity is there for them to change their narrative. They're a sub 500 team by 1 game, and I feel like we don't truly know these Dolphins. We don't know the 2024 Dolphins game because of that time that Tua missed. But one thing we do know is he's playing some tremendous football since he's come back from the concussion. He has 7 passing touchdowns and 605 yards in just his last 2 games. 5 straight games with a completion percentage better than 70%. I don't think in the cold on the road against Xavier McKinney and Jair Alexander that continues, but it's at least enough to make the Packers worried this week, to your point.
Oh, I think it does, because, again, the Packers secondary beat up, and they've got a great 1-2 tandem with the speed that, even though it's going to be cold, that'll slow them down a little bit. The turf at Lambeau going to slow them down. They still have that speed and that advantage of they know where they're going, the defender doesn't. But this is a huge opportunity for the Miami Dolphins, because not only can they change the narrative of they can't play in cold weather, so they'll have that opportunity, but it also changes the narrative that goes back to last season. They beat one team a year ago that had a winning record. They beat the Cowboys late in the season. And that was the narrative surrounding the Dolphins. I know Amber Wilson would get upset on it anytime somebody brought it up on Amber and Ian that, oh, man, okay, are the Dolphins really good because they haven't beaten an actual good team, and then they lose in their first game of the playoffs. That has kind of been the same. The 2 tough teams, tougher in this 5-game stretch that they've played were the first 2 out of the gate. Yeah, they played the Cardinals tough. Yeah, they played the Bills tough. But those are the teams that lead their divisions, and those are the games that they lost. So they've got an opportunity to flip that cold weather narrative. But they also have the narrative to go, oh, maybe this team with Tua, who's now healthy, has that opportunity to flip that narrative as well, that they can go and beat good teams, especially if you do it on the road in the cold at Lambeau Field.
He's Gabe Neitzel. I'm Randy Scott here on Greeny on ESPN Radio. Greeny is presented by Progressive Insurance. Dan Orlovsky was diving in, as he so often does. Actually, have you guys seen Orlovsky in the VR headset, the virtual reality headset over
yes.
in NFL? That's incredible. That would make me so motion sick. I can't even go on the and I love Disney World, but I can't go on the Avatar ride over at Animal Kingdom.
I was just there in March, and I think I did one of the, I think it was Avatar one. I did that one, and I started to get sick, and then my friends went on other ones, I stopped.
And you don't move.
It was too much.
Like you don't physically. You're in a chair that moves.
Right. It's too self-contained. It's too much. Yeah. I was just.
Same deal. I got a little, and I pride myself on not.
I didn't actually get sick or anything, but it was getting close.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's a long ride.
And then my friends went
minutes.
on 2 other ones. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. Yeah.
Can we take some of these minutes and donate it to Tron? Tron's over in a minute and a half, and it's the best ride.
Yeah.
It's so good, but it's so short. Anyway, I say that to say Orlovsky with the VR headset is doing next level.
He's not getting sick.
He's doing next level. He's not fitting into that chair either. Stretch Armstrong, but. He's doing next level stuff with the quarterback position. So hear what he has to say. Take it with the gravitas with which it is intended and deserved. Hear what he has to say about Tua Tagovailoa. He's talking about importance to each quarterback's franchise.
There aren't 5 quarterbacks more important to their football team in our league than Tua. And we're seeing that. And anybody who ever wants to argue about it with me, don't ever do it again. They're right back in the playoff race right now. They're the 8th seed. He is one of the 5 most important quarterbacks in our league to their team.
It's a fact, and that's about as mean as Dan's going to get because he's one of the nicest, non-cussing guys you'll ever see. Anybody who wants to argue about that, don't ever do it again. You're like, okay.
or what, Dan?
Yeah, or what? But he's not wrong, Gabe. And you brought this up earlier. Like when he is at the helm of this team, they are scary. When he's not, they are pedestrian. They're mid.
He's not calling, Tua one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league. No, he's very careful in saying he's one of the most important because we saw what the Dolphins are without Tua. It's not good. It's not fun to watch. Those 4 games, I feel bad for Dolphins fans for having to watch the 4 games that they did without Tua. The marriage of McDaniel and Tua is a unique one because they almost seemingly need each other, right? Where McDaniel clearly has not had the success without him. Tua has had much better success with Mike McDaniel, and they just understand each other. There's so much on the same page. Just take a look at the other sideline. Jordan Love's important to the Packers, but in the 3 games that Malik Willis has had to play, started 2 of them, played in a half of another one. The Packers won all 3 of those games. So they've been able to come up with different game plans to have some success without Jordan Love. Clearly, Love is their guy going forward. But with Tua, they just fall apart without him. If he's not out on that field, that team just has no chance of doing anything.
It's a fun discussion. It's also like an envious one to have when you look at Jordan Love and you look at Tua tonight. They're not playing against each other. Obviously, they're on different sidelines, but 4-year contracts for each of them, north of $212 million for each of them. These are franchise cornerstones, so say their own franchises. But if you had to build your franchise around one of these two, okay, in a vacuum, not Mike McDaniel's scheme, not, the Packer defense and the home field advantage that Lambeau may pose in the second half of the calendar. Just these quarterbacks in a vacuum. Who are you building your franchise around?
I'm still taking Jordan Love, and maybe that's the homer pick because he's my guy. He's the guy I root on each and every week. But honestly, the injury stuff with Tua is, it is, okay, is this next one going to be the one that keeps him out for even longer than 4 games, where he evaluates if he wants to play? He's had some very scary concussions, and Jordan Love, I think, even if you put the concussions aside, I think he can make more throws, and you can have a more dynamic offense with Jordan Love. Now, there are certainly inconsistencies in his game. There have been some games where the completion percentage is way down. Last week against San Francisco was the first time he did not throw an interception all season. So the turnovers are obviously an issue with Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I just feel like the upside is still there more with Love than it is for Tua. I think Tua is closer to a complete project, and I think it's a pretty good project. I think it's a quarterback you can have success with, but I think I can have more success with Jordan Love because of all the different throws that he can make, the different platforms he can throw off of. He's a little bit more that prototypical quarterback in terms of his size and his arm strength.
No, I think, I'm good with the size of Tua. I'm good with the, I'm good with the left-handedness. I'm good with the surprising lack of mobility for someone so young. But he does have the injury out of Alabama to blame for it. But no, I'm good with Love. I'm good with Love, and it's because of the just heart stopping in your chest, your breath catching in your throat, like every time Tua makes a decision. I mean, even trying to make a tackle against the Rams, along the sideline and leading with his head, like he just has football player instincts, and that's admirable if you don't have the concussive track record that he does. And so I just feel like every game having to worry, even more so than you already do about someone who is so valuable for your franchise, but having to worry about, is this snap, is this drop back, is this game the last time we're going to have him on our football field? Because unfortunately, and I do mean this is not an indictment. I'm not calling him anything. I'm just saying he's just been so unlucky with these concussive issues in the past, and it adds up. And so the shelf life is shorter. It just logically, factually is. And so for that reason, give me a guy in Jordan Love who still hasn't reached his full potential, and that's both exciting for Packers fans and terrifying for the rest of the NFC North. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and SiriusXM Channel 80. He is Gabe Neitzel. I'm Randy Scott. Greeny's presented by Progressive Insurance. Round out your protection with life, phone, and pet health insurance. And before we step aside for just a minute, I do want to get to Bubba. We've talked about Bubba's jersey choice today. We've talked about how, selfish it is for the NFL to force the Cowboys and Giants on us today when nobody wants to watch them.
Sure.
But Bubba, the floor is yours. We have some sneaky Bubba trivia today.
We do, yeah. Gabe's favorite. I believe the last time we were together for a week. He went 0 for 7. Was that what it was?
Yeah, okay. It was something like that. It was 0 for 7, 0 for 8. It wasn't good. Yeah. All right. That's the only thing we know is it wasn't good.
Many foul tips.
So we'll see how he does today. So this is individual trivia. We're going to throw it out now. You're going to do it during the break. We'll come back next. So you're not working together. Individual. Don't say any answers now. We're going to come back after the break. You're going to give your answers. The question is this. On what continent can you find the world's largest desert?
On what continent can you find the world's largest desert?
Correct.
I have a feeling this is a trick question. And I'm going to tell you on the other side of the break because we're not making our picks right now. Is that correct? We're not picks.
Correct.
Picks. We're not giving you a factual answer. Or in our case, Gabe. Gabe, are you a geography guy?
Absolutely not. But but I think I am along your lines. I feel like I've heard this question before.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nice.
And I've got some sneaky trivia as well when we come back. And it's just going to be an asked and answered thing. Okay, we're going to be selfish with it. He's Gabe Neitzel. I'm Brady Scott. We got the answer to that trivia, as well as a visit with our ESPN NFL Nation Bears reporter on what to expect today as Chicago is primed to upset the Lions. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
The College Football Playoff on ESPN Radio.
College Football Playoff is expanding to 12 teams.
Touchdown! Unbelievable! The home field advantage too in that first round. We have dreamt of this situation.
The College Football Playoff, Round 1, December 20th and 21st on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Hey folks, when it comes to Christmas trees, don't get played by foreign plastic. Just like you wouldn't replace a prize QB with a mannequin. Don't replace American farm fresh trees with fake foreign plastic. These farm families are the MVPs of Christmas, growing champions right here on American soil. They're not sitting on the bench. They're out there every day growing real Christmas traditions. Make the winning choice, farm fresh Christmas trees, not foreign plastic that pollutes. Visit GetRealKeepItReal.com to find your local farm MVP.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select warehouse clubs in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local retailer today. Navage, Navage, breathe easy.
This is Seattle Sports. Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Beat the Black Friday rush and shop Thanksgiving Day savings at Lowe's. For one day only, get up to 60% off online-only deals. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get early access to Black Friday doorbusters, like the Cobalt Mini Toolbox for just $12.98. Join for free today, because Lowe's knows deals. Thanksgiving Day event, about 11/28, only on Lowe's.com. Member-only doorbusters and midnight Eastern. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change while supplies last.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, for a limited time, ask about an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ins 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555, or visit revivemenshealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used, and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
Your favorite Seattle sports show is available anywhere you go through the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Full shows and interviews, exclusive video and articles from the home of the Seahawks and Mariners.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I take everything back, Bubba. I only hear this song when my phone is on Super Shuffle or when I work with Bubba. That's it.
I got it in the queue for Randy each time.
Little Marvelous 3, just throw it out there. He's Bubba, backed by Evan. He is Gabe Neitzel in Milwaukee, Algonquin for the good land. Not a lot of people know about that. I'm Randy Scott here in Bristol, Connecticut. It's Greeny.
The sad part is none of that, but that is probably a reference that does not hit with everybody anymore.
Oh,
it's an old movie.
I did that on. Okay, I'll do that on SportsCenter. It is dated. It's like a 30-year-old movie. I don't know. It's Wayne's World 2, right? Alice Cooper.
No, Wayne's World. It is the original Wayne's World.
The original? Oh my God, that's even older. Yeah, I really do think it's 30 years. But I got hit up by someone who was like, "That's offensive. Like, stop doing it." And I was like, hold on a second. I sent some factual stuff. I was like, it's out of respect. And Alice Cooper said it was out of respect. And I turned them on Twitter. You ever get a hater on Twitter and then you turn them where they're like, all right, like, big fan. Appreciate you reaching out.
Most times if you respond, they'll turn like, oh, sorry. I love you. I love you now.
Well, as long as you respond with kindness. Yeah, if you respond with kindness or like rational, if you fire back at the hater, then you're playing on their territory. But you hit them with some kindness, they don't know what to do.
No, you're throwing gas on a fire if you do that. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, Tune in, iHeartRadio app, and your smart speakers by saying play ESPN Radio. And a reminder, Greeny is presented by Progressive Insurance. Let's pay off the sneaky Bubba trivia. Remind people of the question. The world's largest desert?
Yes, the world's largest desert is found on what continent? The question for each of you.
Continent. Okay.
So you're each going to give your answer, and then we will.
I think it's Asia, but I think the trick question is Asia, Europe, because I think it touches both continents. But I'm going to say Asia.
So I think there's a weird play on words because you think of desert, you think of sand and warm, but I believe the actual definition of desert doesn't mean it has to be warm. So I think Antarctica might actually be the answer here.
That was my answer as well, Antarctica.
Okay, for that reason I thought it was Siberia. I thought Siberia qualified as a desert, and Siberia is in Russia, which is in two continents. So I thought it was a trick question, but go ahead, Bubba.
Well, the correct answer is Antarctica. There you go. Gabe's on the board.
Finally.
There you go. Yes.
Our national nightmare is over.
Antarctica is considered a desert because it receives very little precipitation despite being covered in ice, meaning the amount of snowfall it does get is minimal and does not melt, classifying it as a polar desert.
Well, our folks who went to Las Vegas for F1 last week learned that just because you're in a desert doesn't mean you're going to be warm. Desert is for a lack of precip and not necessarily temperature. I have one. I'm not trying to this is not a one-upping thing. This is just one random fact.
Is this appropriate?
It is appropriate. Yeah, why do you ask that question? Yes, it's appropriate.
Sometimes he gets rogue.
What line of movie dialogue, what line of dialogue is the most common sentence in movie script history? It is found in American movie history. American film, cinema, movie. This one line is one sentence, and it is in not every movie, but it is the most common line. I can't think of another way to say that. This line is the most common. Yes, this sentence.
Multiple words.
Multiple words. Yes.
That is a good question.
My guess is Merry Christmas.
Oh, I guess that could be a sentence. Yeah, it's wrong. But, Bubba, is that not how you're supposed to do this? You're supposed to let it breathe?
No, just dunking on Evan right away.
If you hate his answer that much.
No, I don't want to ruin. Evan has a rundown. It's meticulous. If Courtney Cronin is waiting, I don't want her to wait.
No, we got 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes? Yeah. Okay, because we are going to hear from our ESPN NFL Nation Bears reporter and Around the Horn columnist. She hosts Best Week Ever with Peter Burns. She puts up with so much.
I don't even know what to guess.
Yeah, you got it, right? Like, what's a common... You know,
I think I maybe should have thought of it.
It's not like Say Hello to My Little Friend, because that's in one movie. It's been usurped a couple of times. You know, the one that gets commented. Listen, I'm not buying you guys time. I live in the Boston area. The one that gets, that misquoted often is from The Town, where it's, Ben Affleck coming in and talking to Jeremy Renner, and he's like, "I need your help. All right, we're gonna."
Whose car are we taking?
I can't tell you where we're going. You can never ask me about it again, and we're going to hurt some people. And Renner's like, whose car are we taking? It's not whose car are we taking. It's whose car are we going to take. Oh. I know. I get it wrong all the time. All the time. I misquoted all the time.
I don't even have a guess. I give up.
Is it something
Bubba,
simple? Is it just something simple like I love you?
It's pretty simple.
There's so many
I love you.
Every movie has got some sort of love angle to it, or a lot of movies have a little love angle to it. So that would be my guess.
That's a great guess.
Obviously, it's not right.
You see what he did? He guessed, Bubba. What's your guess? What's your guess? Come on, give me something.
Where's Mom?
Where's Mom? Okay, the correct answer for the most common line of movie dialogue in American cinematic history is "Let's get out of here." Let's get out of here.
I don't buy that.
It is. Look it up, sir.
I think Merry Christmas is definitely in more movies.
That is
sticking to his guns.
Evan Wilner, ladies and gentlemen, sticking to it. Celebrating Thanksgiving with a nice steak later today. He's got a nice little prefix menu that he's going for. Bubba, we didn't ask about your own Thanksgiving plans.
Yep, I'll be returning to my parents' home after this, and watching the Cowboys. As a Cowboys fan, I'll watch that later. So
they're local. They're in Connecticut.
Correct, Connecticut. Yeah, so staying in Connecticut. My uncle will be there. My sister, parents. So
yeah.
Does the jersey stay on for the Thanksgiving meal?
No, I usually will take it off. Yeah, I'll go a little more. Formal attire, I guess.
Formal attire, like a Troy Aikman jersey, Emmitt Smith jersey, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I got a class. Only a Super Bowl champ for this. Yeah.
Do you remember the '90s? Do you remember the '90s Cowboys turtleneck that they would wear?
Oh yeah.
Remember for cold weather games? It would be like white and have a little logo on the side. I can't remember if that was like.
See, the big issue that I always have with this is we tend to eat dinner later and essentially right during the game.
Yeah.
So we have to DVR the game. I don't know, but I hate DVRing games.
That's the worst.
I'm not a fan of DVRing games because then I can't look at my phone.
Can't.
I can't. I got to work for. I can't look at my emails. If my friends are texting me,
Fantasy,
I can't look at anything.
Yeah.
And then so we don't necessarily eat it till like a little into the game, but I can't start the game. I mean, you can, but so I don't end up seeing the game till much later, which is it's a real tough one. You know, it's.
No, it is.
I'm not a fan of DVRing games. You know, I know some people love it, but
our tradition. Thank you for asking, guys. Our tradition growing up was to go. Is Courtney there? Yeah, she's gonna wait. She's gonna wait for this.
She's interested in
our deal growing up. We didn't do a Thanksgiving like traditional turkey whole deal. We did a big brunch. Mom would make a big brunch, and then we go bowling. We would go bowling and we'd watch. So I've watched so many Thanksgiving Cowboys games through the lanes at like Bowl America in Fairfax, Virginia. No joke. Like that was our deal. It is Greeny. It's ESPN Radio. He's Gabe Neitzel. I'm Randy Scott. It's Bubba and Evan on this Thanksgiving. Thank you for spending part of your holiday with us. A reminder to tune in for a college football doubleheader Saturday as USC hosts number 5 Notre Dame, followed up by Oklahoma at LSU. It's presented by Dr. Pepper. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Red-hot Detroit Lions look to end their Thanksgiving drought as they host the Chicago Bears.
You know, we play on Thanksgiving every year. Our fans come every year, and we want to get a W for them.
Chicago's getting better. They got to get some victories, but I do like what I see in the young quarterback.
It has been better for the Bears at the quarterback position of late. Bears-Lions is what to watch for. It's brought to you by Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Great deals. Get great deals on the hottest tickets. Experience it live. Courtney Cronin, our ESPN NFL Nation Bears reporter and co-host of Best Week Ever. And what do we call it? A panelist on Around the Horn, and it just does so many different. She's on Get Up sometimes and First Take sometimes. Is with us here on ESPN Radio. Happy Thanksgiving, Courtney. As you look at, and everybody extols the virtues of Caleb Williams and his improvement, what is Thomas Brown, the new offensive coordinator, what's he done to help Caleb look so much better of late?
He's provided stability, guys. Like, that's the number one thing, whether it's in communication, making sure that's routine and it's the same every single time, that Caleb doesn't feel like he's adjusting on the fly to different communication styles. And I think he's changed parts of the offense. And I know Caleb took a little bit of exception to the word simplified when he was asked about it the last couple of weeks. But that's what he's done, guys. Like, they're getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands at the fastest rate of his career. He had the 2 fastest times to throw against Green Bay and then Minnesota. They're utilizing DJ more differently. Like, no more talks of, oh, he's not getting involved or he and Caleb aren't on the same page. They're bringing him closer to the line of scrimmage. He's catching a lot of passes behind the line of scrimmage, those screens, those quick slants, all of the things that help move the ball down the field. And I think what Thomas Brown tried to do was knowing that there was just no real philosophy behind this offensive approach. It felt like nothing was consistent on a weekly basis. They tried to adjust too much with a rookie quarterback. So they had him stop, going through as many progressions. Caleb Williams, that is. They had him, just try to go 2 reads, get the ball out the last 2 weeks. And I honestly think that that's been to the benefit of this offense, despite the fact that the Bears have not won either of those games since Thomas Brown has been the offensive coordinator.
How did they get on the same page so quickly? Because the thing that really took me aback, Courtney, when this whole thing came together 2 weeks ago was Caleb saying, yeah, I haven't really talked to Thomas Brown much. So I thought this was going to be really interesting, and yet he has played 2 really good games. How have they gotten on the same page so quickly?
Thomas Brown is a very effective communicator. I sat down with him and had said, tell me your life story in the 19 minutes that you're allotted before you have to go to a production meeting. And I felt in those 19 minutes like I had an inside window into what makes this guy tick and why he's been so successful. And a fast riser. He's 38 years old. He's been an OC twice now. Once last year, calling plays after Frank Reich, gave them up, took them back, got fired, and then Thomas Brown did it the rest of the year. There's clearly something that the Bears and other teams, where he interviewed for the OC opening this past offseason, and with the Tennessee Titans for their head coach job that went to Brian Callahan, the way that he communicates, he's not just an X's and O's coach. And so I think how he's able to talk to one player one way, deliver the same message while dealing in different circumstances with another player, he's a modern coach. He's not trying to square peg round hole this, which is kind of what it felt like under Shane Waldron when the lack of communication just was not, so apparent. It did not feel that they were able to get on the same page. And, he told Caleb Williams, it's going to take blind trust for us to get this thing on track. And, with where it was, kind of as rock bottom as it was after week 10, there really wasn't much that, it's kind of like, what do you have to lose at that point? Let me believe in this guy, get my rookie career back on track and, hope for the best. And for 2 weeks, hoping for the best seems to have worked out.
She's Courtney Cronin, our ESPN NFL Nation reporter and co-host of Best Week Ever with Peter Burns here on Sunday mornings. Outside of the quarterback position, we've seen DJ Moore have some of his best games. I think the ground game has always been consistent to get to this point. But outside of the quarterback, Courtney, what else has Thomas Brown done to get this offense back on track?
The running game's a good place to start with that because Roschon Johnson, the number 2 back behind DeAndre Swift, he was an afterthought for most of the first 9 weeks of the season, which is so bizarre. I mean, of course, it's not bizarre when you take a look at them deciding to hand off the ball at the goal line to the backup center. That seemed like it was a much smarter play call. All jokes aside, Roschon Johnson in those situations, a much more effective running back. And the Bears drafted him for a reason. He's a 4th-round pick. They let Khalil Herbert go. They traded him away at the deadline because they had so much belief that what Johnson could provide this offense as a complementary piece to what DeAndre Swift brings can be utilized on an effective basis. And what you're seeing is some of the highest playing time, snap percentage-wise for him of his young career. And to be able to have a run game, the way they established it against the Green Bay Packers and then what they did against the Minnesota Vikings, I know it was difficult, but they did stay more committed to it going against like one of the top run defenses in the NFL. That's where you saw them falter. They would, like, if it didn't work earlier in the season, they would just kind of go away from it. And then Caleb's passing, dropping back his pass 51 times in a game against the Colts. It doesn't work like that. So I think Thomas Brown and his willingness to, you might have to fight through a bad quarter, but like to be able to get back on track starts with staying doing what you're good at and sticking with it.
Courtney, what will it take for Matt Eberflus to save his job? And does it start by not getting a field goal block today?
Yeah, that would be, this game doesn't come down to another one-score game that they lose. That's certainly, I don't know if it helps. It does feel like the writing's on the wall. He's 5-18 in one-score games. They're 2-12 under him in NFC North play. Those are some of the worst marks right now in the NFL. He hasn't won a challenge this year. All of the things that we've seen go wrong for this team based on coaching decisions continue to mount. So does a win go a long way? In the short term, it does, because this team has gotten so close the last couple of weeks. 3 of their losses in this 5-game losing streak came down to one, losing on the final play. So they have been right there. So if they can win today, it's good for morale. It means that he stays for the rest of the season, that there wouldn't be any sort of midseason dismissal. But I have a hard time believing, guys, that he is going to be able to survive this beyond this year, because if you're looking at the quarterback and not screwing up his development, what has Matt Eberflus told you just about like the way that he's conducted himself in these games and just the way that the team's looked under him for 2.5 seasons now, that it might be time in the best case scenario to save your return on investment here with Caleb Williams to start over? Maybe something they should have done last offseason.
All right, Courtney Cronin famously, notoriously, maybe suspiciously, her favorite slice of pizza when she's in New York for her get up or first take, she's got to get to a Sbarro's. And I just want to tell her that she's in Detroit right now. Detroit has really good pizza as well.
Who is she, Michael Scott?
Yeah, it's sad. I know. She
it's
grew
a
up in
quality New York slice.
But in all seriousness, Detroit-style pizza, that square, the square edge, toppings to the edge, the whole deal, it's tremendous, Courtney. Get there and
I have whatever the one that they have here, whatever the famous one is. I had it last year.
Yeah.
I'm in and out this time, so I'm not going to get it. But we have Jets Pizza in Chicago, and that is a Detroit-style pizza that I frequent pretty often. So I'm familiar with their game, but honestly, it doesn't hold a candle to the best flights in New York City.
You're the best sport. Thank you, Courtney. We appreciate it. Here's to a good game, and happy Thanksgiving, all right?
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Take care.
She joins us, as all voices and all guests do, as you yourself could do, on the Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. I'm going to ask the man who asked that question. So I turn quickly back to Gabe, because you asked her, hey, is there anything that Matt Eberflus could do to save his job? I mean, Gabe, do you believe that there's anything he can do?
Short of winning out, no.
Okay.
Because for all the reasons she said, but it seems like there's a budding relationship between Caleb Williams and Thomas Brown. I am very curious. Again, I'm not a fan of this, because when you hire new people, I would rather give them complete autonomy over who their staff is, whether that's the general manager hiring the head coach hiring their own staff. But if there is that good of a relationship and it continues to bloom and we continue to see Caleb Williams blossom over the last month and a half of the season, maybe you do it where, okay, we're going to keep Thomas Brown, but we're going to get a new head coach as well. So that's the interesting part now to me to watch with the Bears going forward.
I think I couldn't agree more. We'll see. We'll see how it spans out today. I really do think the Lions could get upset today. That's my pick if I had to pick one. I'll take the Bears and the points, as a matter of fact. All right, he is Gabe Neitzel. I'm Brady Scott. Who you got? That is next on this Thanksgiving edition. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Tuesday on the NBA on ESPN Radio. It's a mile-high clash between two of the NBA's best.
Jokic straight away for three.
Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets face Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors in an NBA Cup showdown. Coverage begins Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern with tip-off at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmitt Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing kit. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable. And one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
This is Seattle Sports.
Don't fall, just call Seattle Holiday Lights. We'll hang them up, we'll take them down, we'll do it right. So call Seattle Holiday Lights. Seattle Holiday Lights. Visit SeattleHolidayLights.com.
Here at NC Machinery, people always ask, what can you do with Cat compact equipment? Well, here goes. Build gardens, patios, and parking, set posts and poles, plant trees, remove pipes, stumps, and rocks, clear snow, brush, and trees, trench, grade, and maintain. Landscape your backyard, your front yard, your neighbor's yard. Get through doorways, alleyways, and fence gates. Build roads, trails, fire breaks. Move gravel, wood chips, and hay. Clean pens and barns. Break concrete, asphalt, and gravel. Use tools like hammers, tampers, trenchers, mulchers, and mowers. And for the doers doing, the landscapers, contractors, and landowners digging, call NC Machinery to get 0% for 60 months on select compact equipment. Terms and conditions apply.
So here's the deal with Mariners season ticket memberships. You've got two great options. With a Flex membership, you have the freedom to pick your seats, games, and number of tickets whenever you want. Or, if you like knowing where you're sitting all season long, go with a reserved membership and lock in your seats from day one. Both plans get you access to exclusive pre-sales, year-round discounts, special event invites, and more. Check it out at Mariners.com/25.
Now Raleigh wins it in the 10th inning for the Mariners.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. LoveYourMindToday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit LoveYourMindToday.org. That's LoveYourMindToday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
When I found out my son was using marijuana, I thought it was just part of adolescence.
Lots of teens and young people get high.
But then I found out how powerful today's concentrates are.
I couldn't believe it.
It's far more powerful than weed from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
When teens use vapes or dabs, the potency can be 80 to 100% THC.
THC can cause addiction, hallucinations, paranoia, anxiety, and cannabis-induced psychosis in youth.
For teens and young adults, marijuana use comes with increased risks
of suicidal thoughts, planning, and attempts.
And these high THC products can be bought almost anywhere.
From gas stations to dispensaries, I had no idea.
Talk to your children well before they experiment with today's potent THC products.
Get educated.
Help them understand the dangers are real.
Just Say No, KNOW. Go to justsayno.org today for the facts.
A public service message from Johnny's Ambassadors.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
She don't care about my car, and she don't care about my money, and that's real good, 'cause I don't got a lot to spend. But if I did, it wouldn't mean nothing.
Hit it!
She likes me for me. Not because
Come on.
I look like Tyson Beckford with the charm of Robert Redford.
Oozing out my ears. Oh, Blessed Union of Souls much? Are you on that bus? You up on that bus, Gabe Neitzel and Millie Wake?
Yeah. A lot of great references in this song, too.
There are some it's a time capsule song. It really is. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Tune in, iHeartRadio app, and your smart speakers by saying play ESPN Radio. What was the other one that they had that was slow? She believes.
Yeah.
No, I believe. I believe.
Yeah.
I believe. Okay. All right. Well, hey, we got there. That's a discography. Greeny is presented by Progressive Insurance, and I'm thankful for Bubba's music choices, as always. Thankful for this 2-hour jaunt before I enter the gauntlet of meal prep back home in Massachusetts for Thanksgiving. Thank you for spending part of your holiday with us. We're going to get out with a Bubba special, and I'm just told I got to lay out.
Life is a series of choices.
Who you got?
Make a decision.
Say it! Say it!
All right, I'll say it. Who you got?
All right, time for Who You Got here. We're going to make it official here. Going to get your picks real quick on the 3 games today. I know Randy is all about the Lions losing, so let's make it official. Bears at Lions, Detroit -10. Who you got? Are you officially going, Randy?
I'll take Bears in the points, yeah. Are we going money line, or are we going Bears points?
Well, it's essentially a spread, but if you want to go money, if you want to go.
No, Bears. Give me 10. Oh, my God. Yeah, lock.
Their last 2 games have been at home. Now they have to go on the road. The Lions tripped up last year. They're not tripping up again this year. I'm taking the Lions -10.
Ooh. Okay.
What about the real game today? Giants at Cowboys. Dallas -3.5. This one's at 4:30 p.m. Who you got?
I guess I'll take Drew Lock in the points.
This line stinks. It stinks.
It is a weird line.
Which means the smart thing to do is go with Gabe and take Drew Lock in the points. But I've never been accused of being smart, man. Give me the Cowboys. Lay the points. Let's go.
There we go. I like it. And the nightcap, 8:20, Dolphins at Packers, Green Bay -3.5. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Dolphins. I'll take the Dolphins.
I think the Packers. I'll take the Packers. I think it's going to be a tight game. I'd prefer the extra half point. I don't like. I don't like the hook there.
The hook will bring you back, I'm told.
All right.
That's the word going around town.
Don't you all right me, Bubba? Don't you all right me with disdain?
You can't provide the playlist you played today and then disdainly say all right when he makes a Blues Traveler reference.
Thank you.
I mean, I was happy with those. It was great.
I will. I'm sorry. Did I jump all over you? Did you make your pick yet?
I took the Packers.
Packers? Okay.
I think we just stopped listening to him. Packers fan. Who really cares, honestly? All right, let's get down to business because the real questions are coming now. I don't know if you heard this or not, but have you seen this? Have you heard about this? A pair of North Carolina siblings believe their father is the elusive fugitive hacker D.B. Cooper after allegedly finding the suspect's parachute in their garage. So that just happened.
That just happened?
Yeah.
Well, they found it, I guess, years ago.
Yeah.
But they're waiting for their mom to die, so that just happened. Sad. But now that she's dead, they're telling people.
Sad.
They didn't want her to get possibly in trouble, so they're waiting for her to die, and now they're telling everyone. They're saying it is, like, legitimately the parachute. And I guess this is a person who they have identified as a possible suspect for years, too. So this could lead more credence to being, him being the person. Regardless, I love the D.B. Cooper story. The point of the question is, who you got as your favorite unsolved mystery?
Oh, wow. As your unsolved, so this could be everything from, like, was there a second Ultimate Warrior? Was there a second Avril Lavigne? Was there...
That's Gabe's favorite. That's all, he won't stop talking about that.
That is my favorite.
JFK?
Oddly, yeah. I mean, if the real answer is JFK, I honestly can't get enough, JFK content. Like, when they put out new podcasts and what that, I will listen to those. But I do love making, is there a second Avril Lavigne reference? Those are my two go-tos.
What is your favorite... What is your favorite unsolved mystery? Unsolved. Well, I firmly believe the NFL interceded in the Immaculate Reception to hose the Raiders, who were a thorn in the NFL's side. I believe that. I think that ball hit the ground. But
what about the show Unsolved Mysteries?
Yeah, that show was great.
Robert Stack.
I mean, this is so broad. Bubba, you give us no time to prep. Golly, I think Tom Brady fumbled in the snow, and his legacy's built on a rule so bad they had to repeal it. But that's just an opinion.
Yeah,
dude,
that's not unsolved. I think that was solved.
Randy's just naming
DB Cooper's really good. That's up there. I'm naming what?
You're just naming
Evan. Grudges.
Grudges.
Yeah. Is that not what this is for? Having a hot mic and holiday time?
Who you got? Grudges.
Here are all the times my Raiders have been wrong.
Who you got? Grudges. Unsolved mystery. It's either JFK or DB Cooper. Yeah, DB Cooper's up there.
All right,
because they weren't even sure he survived the crash, right?
No, they never found it. It's a great story.
1971, $200,000.
They found some money 15 years later, washed up on one of the rivers there. But most people say there's no way he could have survived, but they never found a body or anything. But now this is the person's parachute. 1 minute in North Carolina. Real quick, since Randy took 7 years to answer that one. 39 years ago Monday, Milli Vanilli's "Blame It on the Rain" reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. If we created today's version of Milli Vanilli with Randy and Gabe as the frontmen, how long could you guys fake it? Who you got?
I think technology's so good, Gabe. I think we'd have a good long run if we wanted it.
I don't think we wouldn't have to tour. The tour would be always the tough part. But I think we could run.
Oh, you'll be
2.5, 3 years.
You'll be
2.5, 3 years.
Listen, that was right across the street, right? That was at Lake Compounds where they got busted.
That was another trivia question. If you guys know where that happened.
It's right across the street. And here's the thing: if it happens now, it's not an issue. They do that all the time. Artists do this all the time. Milli Vanilli wrongfully shamed.
I mean, all the time is a rough.
Them, yeah. It's their own
artists never sing ever. I mean, they never sang once.
They never sang once live. Are we sure about this? I'm not sure. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Gabe, appreciate you, man. This has been Greeny on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $33.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, folks, when it comes to Christmas trees, don't get played by foreign plastic. Just like you wouldn't replace a prize QB with a mannequin. Don't replace American farm fresh trees with fake foreign plastic. These farm families are the MVPs of Christmas, growing champions right here on American soil. They're not sitting on the bench. They're out there every day growing real Christmas traditions. Make the winning choice, farm fresh Christmas trees, not foreign plastic that pollutes. Visit GetRealKeepItReal.com to find your local farm MVP.
This is Seattle Sports.
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho, 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 ho.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about the holidays. They're a time for friends, family, good food, and ugly sweaters. But they're also when cops are out in full force, looking to pull you over and find evidence of DUI. During the holiday months at 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we see DUI arrests skyrocket. So if instead of carolers coming to your house, it's a summons to court, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We have over 25 years of experience keeping the holidays joyous, because too much of Grandma Betty's eggnog can easily take you on a midnight sleigh ride to jail. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation in Seattle, Bellevue, Everett, or Tacoma. Don't drink and drive this holiday season, because if you're caught driving with a nose too red and cheeks too jolly, you'll be calling 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
At Makita, good enough is never enough. It's not just about the power and runtime of the tool. It's about the power and runtime of the pro. We obsess over fit, finish, and feel. Every detail, from coatings to contours. All to create tools that won't hold you back, so you can build more and never settle. If it's not right, don't put your name on it. Makita, available at the Home Depot.
I was in the hospital with my son for 18 months.
When he got injured, I wasn't prepared, but I knew I had to be strong.
When I was told about John's injury, I was in complete shock. I just remember rushing into his room and giving him a big hug and letting him know I was there.
These veterans and families are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For thousands of severely injured veterans, everyday life is filled with barriers.
It was really the little things throughout the house. Counters that you can't roll up to. How to drag my wheelchair down steps.
I want to help, but he is so determined.
At Homes for Our Troops, we build specially adapted custom homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and automatic door openers that allow them to function independently and focus on their recovery and family.
This house is freedom. It's hope. It's a new beginning.
This house has given me my family back.
To learn more, visit hfotusa.org.
November is a great time to get a new TV. Now that the top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony are at the lowest prices of the year. With Black Friday deals available, what more could you want? How about better than Black Friday? Before you click, you should call Video Only to see how you can go lower than Black Friday. That's right, the best TVs at better prices. Check out Video Only before you buy, or you'll be sorry.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
We're just getting started. Nothing stops this train. Nothing.
Do
get used to the mantra, all gas, no break, no break, no break.
From the headquarters of ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut, this is Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Welcome to the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio. I'm Chris Carlin, and from Joe Fortenbaugh and I, we want to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving. Over the next hour, you'll hear some of the best moments from the first year of the show. Let's start with one of our favorites. During the NBA playoffs, we had a chance to chat with comedian and former SportsCenter anchor Craig Kilborn at a time when his beloved Minnesota Timberwolves were on a run to the Western Conference Finals. We began by asking him about how he became a Wolves fan.
My dad was he was born in Queens. He went to Teaneck, New Jersey High School, and then Rutgers. Ironically, the same as David Stern. He was older than David Stern, but he went to the same high school and college as David Stern. But he took a transfer to the Midwest when I was in kindergarten. So I grew up in Minnesota, had a very happy childhood. I always tell people my childhood was comedy and basketball. My dad was very funny, like a Johnny Carson type. And I just am loyal to Minnesota sports teams. And really happy that we have the Timberwolves. When I was growing up in the 70s, because we didn't have a pro basketball team, we had the Minnesota Golden Gopher basketball team with Kevin McHale and Michael Thompson and Ray Williams, and we were very good. And my favorite players, I always like to tell people, when I first discovered basketball, because I was in a hockey state, I even had to play hockey for a while. But in fact, the coach, it was during basketball season. I want to say it was 5th grade. And he comes in, there's this little shed near the outdoor rink that's heated. And he comes in with the team and he goes, "Hey, Kilborn, you got to make a choice. You're going to play basketball or hockey. If you're going to play basketball, then leave." And I walked out. I was really good in basketball. But my favorite player at the beginning was Walt Clyde Frazier, because my dad was from New York and he liked the Knicks. And then I discovered somebody, one of the most electrifying players in the game, the Doctor, Julius Erving. And because I didn't have a team, I just followed the Doctor. And that was my favorite guy. But when we got the Wolves, I was just like into the Wolves. But I guess I could say I was a pro basketball fan for 20 years before the Wolves came into existence.
Craig Kilborn is with us, the former SportsCenter anchor, former Late Late Show host, The Daily Show. He was the original host of The Daily Show. And, of course, now, if you're not following him on Instagram, you're missing out, at Mr. Craig Kilborn. All right, let's get to some of the highlights of your career here. A little Late Late Show, first and foremost. Best guest that you had on either that or on The Daily Show?
I usually say Bill Murray, because for some of us, Bill Murray was the funniest man in the world. And he did... He was a guest on The Daily Show with me, and then he was my first guest on the CBS Late Late Show. Had another guest that I got nervous about. His name is Clint Eastwood, and he was married to a woman that I know. She's a friend of mine, still is. So when I worked in local TV in Salinas, Santa Cruz, Monterey, the 110 market, I lived in Carmel. Clint was the mayor there in the 80s, and I got there in 89 to 92, and I would drive 35 minutes to Salinas and do the nightly sports. And there was another news anchor, not at the same station, but in Carmel, Dina Ruiz, and we were friends. And I went to ESPN. I left Carmel, Monterey, and she called me when I was at ESPN, and she says, "I'm dating Clint Eastwood." There was like a 33-year age gap there. And then she called me later and said, "I'm marrying Clint." And they were married for 18 years, but she got him on my CBS Late Late Show. And he hadn't even done Letterman's show, and Letterman, of course, owned my show. So that was a big deal, and I'm grateful for that. And I went the full hour with Clint. Usually we have a second guest and a band, but I went the full hour with him. And one of the 5 questions I said to Clint, and finally, I want you to squint because it's sunny outside and squint because you're angry. I want to see the difference in your squints, because that was a big part of his acting was squinting.
I always enjoyed the Late Late Show, especially when you had Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau on. It seemed like you were genuinely friends with those guys. You were on Old School. You were in Old School. We were watching some of the clips this morning, especially the bathroom scene with Luke Wilson, who doesn't even get a word in during that scene. It's just hilarious. Evan, our producer, brings up the idea of, imagine going into someone else's bathroom and
just drinking their mouthwash and then putting it down. It's fantastic. We were curious, when you're working on that movie, you're around Luke, you're around Will Ferrell, you're around Vince Vaughn. Like, who's the funniest of the group?
Will Ferrell's the funniest guy around, so I would have to go Will. Love Vince, one of my favorite guests. Luke was. They're all very supportive of me. In the bathroom scene, they told me they thought I did a nice job because I was it was my first movie, and I was doing the show, so I would drive to do my scenes and then drive back and do a show. I couldn't take any days off, but the bathroom scene went well. Those guys were great, and I did hang out with them off camera as well.
Craig Kilborn is with us. Okay, I mean, the line itself is so perfect in tossing a towel into somebody's chest and saying, "Great talk, we'll see you out there." I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've said the line, but have you ever genuinely tossed a towel in somebody's chest as you're finishing a conversation?
I'm not quite that obnoxious. No, so the answer is no. Good talk. But I do like that summary. Okay, the one that I use all the time, and I actually used to sign my 8x10s because I would have to give autographs to these people, the fans at the show, was proud of you.
Yeah.
Proud of you. And so that's kind of my summation. Like, when we're done today, I might say, "Thanks, guys. Remember, proud of you." That's what I say at the end of my podcast. Remember, young people, I'm proud of you. Anyways, but I haven't tossed a towel. I'm not quite that much of a jerk. That guy, just to let you know, is more of a jerk than I am, if you can believe that.
The podcast is called The Life Gorgeous Podcast. For those who want to check it out, Craig Kilborn with us. Speaking of catchphrases, you were on SportsCenter. You had a lot of good ones. If there was a non-Kilby SportsCenter phrase that would rank as one of your favorites, you got to go outside the Kilborn arsenal. Whose would it be?
Kenny Mayne, with the home run call, give you finest meats and cheese. Is that what he said when they would hit a? Oh yeah, Kenny is very funny. I think it was that one.
The finest meats and cheese is top notch. Well, listen, we can't do this without doing 5 questions with Craig Kilborn. We have to do that. You realize this.
You can if you want to, but I'm willing to participate.
Boys, hit the music.
By the way, so you're not the first guys to do this, but oftentimes, and this is okay, you don't have to change your questions. Oftentimes, I would do only one of the 5 would be a choice, either or. And oftentimes, when they write them, when I'm doing a guest on somebody's show, most of them are choices. But that's okay. Whatever you guys did, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to it. Hit the music, boys, if you've got it. Let's just start here. Question number 1 for Craig Kilborn. 5 questions. Craig, who wins in a fight, a bear or a shark?
I don't know if there's a correct answer. My instinct is a bear.
Now, I want you to keep in mind, Craig, that that's a neutral field, neutral site. Imagine that it's in space. Does that change your answer?
Space.
Oh. I'm still going to go bear because I like bears. I'm sorry.
I think that's a solid choice.
All right.
What's the correct answer?
I don't think we actually thought that out.
Well, we did, but we'll make it happen.
All right, so what's the biggest hole in the plot of the 1985 classic Teen Wolf? Am I supposed to go with the rest of this, Carlin?
That's the answer.
That's the answer? Okay, I figured if I let it out there, then good. I didn't want to reveal that. I'm sorry.
That a white guy could dunk?
Actually, that's incorrect, Craig. At the end of the movie, the villain Mick would never be permitted to stand under the basket as Scott attempted his free throws. Also, we would have accepted Chubbs did not get enough shots in the game. All right. Number 3. You know, Spam. Spam has made quite the comeback. Where was Spam invented?
Hawaii.
Incorrect. Minnesota. As a T-Wolves fan, you should know that.
Oh. There was an actress on our show named Kelly Hu, H-U. She was on some CBS show, and she was from Hawaii, and she liked Spam. So I just said Hawaii. Anyways.
That's where it's very popular. Number 4, proper way to order a martini.
Well, I'm not. A purist will have gin, and I'm not a purist. And a purist will have it stirred. I'm just going to tell you what Craigers does. Chopin or Belvedere up, ice cold, no vermouth, which means it's not a martini. 3 blue cheese olives.
That is correct.
Yep, absolutely correct. Last one.
Thank God. Thank you.
Last one. Craig, can everyone pull off an ascot?
No. And for the record, I think I've only worn an ascot in public once. I was at a restaurant, Nate's on Marsh in San Luis Obispo, and I just like wearing them around the house because I have fun around the house, my 1923 English manner, and I wear ascots. But I am English on both sides, and I'm a bit of a dandy, and I'm a bit of an Anglophile. And I love ascots, but I don't wear them often out. I might do it. If the Wolves win the championship, I'm going to wear them all summer long.
I love the idea you're a bit of a... just while you're in the house.
I know. It's so funny. It's a funny thing. You shouldn't drink alone, young people. I like to drink in moderation. I only have 1 martini a week now at my age. But I used to just shower and put on nice clothes and go down to my club chair and drink alone and then order in. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, I think visually we had you at a bit of a dandy with a conquistador lamp behind you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Craig,
much.
Thank you so much. The podcast is the Life Gorgeous Podcast on Instagram at Mr. Craig Kilborn. Awesome stuff, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Kilby.
Hey, guys, I'm proud of you.
That was Craig Kilborn on Carlin versus Joe. Up next, who said it? Jim Harbaugh or ChatGPT? I'm Chris Carlin, and you're listening to the best of Carlin versus Joe.
When I pull up to the parking lot, it's time to level up. Dial in, showing out for your team. Listen up, get you some. I stand the fan to give you what you need. Fan fuel, game time, turn up the intensity. Team colors bleeding out, 5-hour energy. For a limited time, get the fan fuel flavor at 5hourenergy.com.
This college football moment is brought to you by Serve Pro.
In 2021, LSU finished with a disappointing 6-7 record. Luckily for them, a new head coach in Brian Kelly and a quarterback from Arizona State, Jaden Daniels, arrived in Baton Rouge. They'd lead LSU to the 2022 SEC Championship game and defeated Purdue in the Citrus Bowl to finish 10-4. Kelly and Daniels made that 2021 season like it never even happened.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
This is Seattle Sports.
Milo's Rewards members beat the rush at Lowe's. Join Milo's Rewards for free and get exclusive access to Black Friday doorbusters on Thanksgiving Day, online only. It's the perfect chance to score big deals on the things you need, like the Amana top-load washer. Was $629, now just $298. Shop before these savings are gone, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/28, only on Lowe's.com. Member-only doorbusters and midnight Eastern. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change while supplies last.
Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need. Photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 12/28, in-store only.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555, or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used, and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
Toyotathon is here at Toyota of Kirkland. To celebrate the event, Toyota of Kirkland has purchased $3 million worth of certified used and pre-owned vehicles on the lot ready for you to test drive and take home. The largest selection of certified used and pre-owned vehicles during Toyotathon can only be found at Toyota of Kirkland. Visit the wonderful team and beautiful showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
Leaky roof? Replace it with a metal roof from Asset Roofing. Metal roofs last almost twice as long or more eco-friendly, and Asset Roofing can do them for up to 30% less than their competitors.
Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house. Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life oil filter for just $33.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Happy Thanksgiving. You're listening to the best of Carlin versus Joe. I'm Chris Carlin. After Jim Harbaugh agreed to become the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, we decided to test Joe Fortenbaugh's skills in a little game we call Who Said It?
Was it Aaron Rodgers or the Dalai Lama?
Relax.
Kanye or Kyrie?
That's another root of human struggle.
Or Carlin or Joe?
I've never been interested in facts.
It's time again to ask, who said it?
It's one of my favorite things, to do. I've been pumped up, waiting for Jim Harbaugh to get a job so we could do this. It's Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio on Sirius XM Channel 80. So we were joking around a couple of weeks ago that Jim Harbaugh basically has an AI unit in his body that is running his responses to questions. So it got me to thinking, what if I actually put it to ChatGPT to give me some things that Jim Harbaugh would say? And what came out of artificial intelligence is remarkable. So, Joe, here's how the game is going to work.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Yes.
How did you get these responses from ChatGPT? You asked it a question and then got a response. Is that how it works?
I literally typed into ChatGPT.com.
Okay.
What are some things that Jim Harbaugh would say publicly?
Okay.
And this is what came out.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a quote, and you will tell me if Jim Harbaugh said it or if AI said it.
Copy that. I think I can follow those instructions.
For instance, I'll give you a sample question at first. Victory is sweet, just like a big bowl of vanilla ice cream. No sprinkles, though. We keep it simple.
That's Jim Harbaugh.
That, my friend, is AI, Jim Harbaugh.
This is off to a horrific start. I thought
this
that was
is going
obvious.
to be a very, very tough game.
Harbaugh didn't say that? It feels like that's exact. I feel like I heard him say that once.
That's why AI is going to rule the world.
Wow, I need to buy that property in Montana a lot faster than I thought I did.
Yes, you do. All right, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go. Well, no, actually, I'm not ready, clearly.
Joe, first quote. It's like the human body. What a tremendous organism. It actually craves contact. If you backed a car into a brick wall, it would cause $2,000 of damage. It doesn't have the ability to heal itself, but a human body does.
Oh, my God.
They will not all be that long.
I'm gonna say that's Harbaugh.
Correct. That is Jim Harbaugh.
I had zero confidence with that. After the first one, you got me rattled. All right, so Jim Harbaugh did say that.
Yes, Jim Harbaugh said it.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, Joe, playing a tough team is like going into a lion's den. Good thing we brought our roars and our game plans.
That's ChatGPT. That's AI Jim Harbaugh.
Correct.
All right.
Why khakis? Well, they're the Swiss Army knife of pants. Versatile, dependable, and they match everything.
Jim Harbaugh.
ChatGPT.
That's ChatGPT?
Yep.
Wow.
I take a vitamin every day. It's called steak.
That's Jim Harbaugh.
Correct. I don't take vacations. I don't get sick. I don't observe major holidays. I'm a jackhammer.
ChatGPT.
That's Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh doesn't observe holidays? I thought he was very religious.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Then his brother just opened up his post-game press conference quoting the Bible.
I know.
After the Houston game.
He didn't say anything about religion. He said major holidays.
Major holidays tend to coincide with religion, last I checked.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, injuries are like that annoying relative who overstays their welcome during the holidays. We'll kick them out soon.
Man, I'm shook. I am so shook right now. I got no rhythm. Like, you know how you're doing something in your life where you got no rhythm, no flow, like a round of golf is just going south? Jim Harbaugh.
That is, I'm sorry. That is incorrect.
I got that one wrong. That's ChatGPT.
That was ChatGPT.
How am I doing here? Am I hitting 500?
Not quite yet. Evan, do we have an official count?
No, no one's paying attention.
Yeah, nobody's paying attention.
All
right. Before they had crunchy peanut butter, I would put peanuts in the creamy peanut butter.
Sounds like something he would do, Harbaugh.
Correct.
Yeah,
that is Jim Harbaugh.
He would do. Not enough protein.
No, absolutely not. I'm a Tupac man myself, and my all-time favorite song, Gordon Lightfoot's The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I don't even understand that. You know what? AI?
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh said it. I consulted a good friend of mine, Joe Rogan, and I've been doing a lot of the stuff he recommended on his podcast.
Wow. AI.
I'm sorry, that's Aaron Rodgers. That's Aaron Rodgers. My bad right there. Finally, Joe.
I'm close enough.
Our team spirit is so strong, it could power a rocket to the moon. Maybe we'll try that in the offseason.
AI.
Correct.
Nice.
That is AI Jim Harbaugh.
That was good.
Who said it was one game where Joe performed well? It was another story when it came to Joe Fortenbaugh versus sports trivia. Stick around for the best hijinks when it comes to the Hembo Hammer. That's next on the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game-changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators.
Like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
This is Seattle Sports.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract, plus for a limited time. Ask about an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ins 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Make this holiday season extra special in the kitchen of your dreams while saving thousands. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. Our own craftsmen will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it off with a beautiful quartz countertop, all in about a week. Book now and we'll be able to schedule the installation of your new kitchen before the holidays, and you'll receive an additional 15% up to $3,000 off. Call today and schedule a free in-home consultation where we'll bring a showroom to you. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com. That's heritagehomecraft.com.
Are you looking for a construction loan to build your dream home? Are you a local builder needing a better financing option for your next spec project? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Stop wasting time with local banks and credit unions and their endless guidelines. We're the experts for common sense residential construction loans. We lend our own money, we make our own decisions. And if your deal makes sense, we'll get it done fast with flexible terms. For homeowners, we advise you every step of the way with things like budget and timeline, ensuring the completion of your dream home. For builders, Legacy's not only your lender, we'll source your next deal, provide permitting services, and if you're short on equity, we'll invest alongside of you. Legacy Group Capital has lent more than $1 billion, helping over 130 local builders and hundreds of homeowners. We can help you.
Construction loans don't have to be hard. Borrow smart with a common sense construction loan from Legacy Group Capital. Visit LegacyG.com. LegacyG.com.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Yukon forward Alex Caravan taken to a Maui hospital for a head injury after last night's loss to Dayton. Got clearance to fly home with the rest of the team shortly before takeoff today. The Huskies' next game is Saturday against Maryland Eastern Shore. First NFL game of the day from Detroit about to get underway, where the Lions, seeking a 10th consecutive win, will host the Bears. The Giants expected to start Drew Lock at quarterback in place of the injured Tommy DeVito against the Cowboys. Dallas tight end Jake Ferguson and right guard Zach Martin are both out. Green Bay receiver Romeo Doubs and cornerback Jair Alexander will not play versus Miami tonight. NBA Warriors point guard Steph Curry, held out of last night's game with pain in both knees, should be ready to play in their next game at Phoenix on Saturday. According to Coach Steve Kerr, Curry will have had 4 days of rest between games.
Happy Thanksgiving. This is the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio. I'm Chris Carlin. Everyone loves sports trivia, or at least everyone but Joe Fortenbaugh. Let's take a listen back to what happened when we combined Joe, Hembo, and some harmless trivia questions.
You must be here for the trivia challenge.
Do you have the answer to this week's trivia question?
Oh, I love trivia.
What's up, boys? It's hammer time.
This is the Hembo Hammer.
We've got the Hembo Hammer. Here is today's question, as we heard just moments ago.
Which team has lost the most consecutive Week 1 games?
All right, Mr. Fortenbaugh, your guess first.
I want to make it very clear, this is honest. This show is nothing if not honest.
No, neither one of us went and looked it up.
No cheating. No. What's the point, right?
What does that do for me?
What is the point of doing that? We are going to play this honest. So my official answer on this, the Cleveland Browns.
That's interesting, and I thought about going that way. My official answer on this is the Detroit Lions.
Two well-run programs over the last couple centuries.
Yes.
Well, remember,
exactly.
Hembo said it was a layup. So.
Well, I actually thought about it being...
If it turns out to be like, the Patriots, there's going to be a conversation with Hembo. There's going to be I'm just going to say it like that. There's going to be a conversation.
There might be one anyway. This question is not a layup. Let's just, even if
so we both got it wrong?
No, even if the answers that you guys had are correct, the question itself is not a layup, and Hembo and I already had a conversation about using the word layup for a question like that. That's all.
Well, Hembo likes to lean into the idea that he is smarter than the rest of us, and he wants America to know. Hembo wants to be a villain. He wants to be a villain. And it's okay. So if he is performative in that regard, I welcome it. And it'll make it all the more sweeter the times that we win. So what is the correct answer?
The correct answer is Atlanta. Guys, the Falcons have lost 5 straight season openers dating to 2018.
Wait. Is this current active streaks?
Yeah.
I thought it was just the longest week 1 streak in history.
Which team has lost the most consecutive week 1 games?
He didn't say active.
Wow. What a
We're
meathead.
already getting into semantics.
Controversy.
What a meathead. What a meathead to mail it in and be so lazy, but to think you're going to be so funny on the back end with that commentary. He does not make it clear that it's active. It's not active. That is the type of stat that sounds like what is the longest ever.
See, it made me think.
Look up the answer to that, somebody, please, because if it's Cleveland, that segment's done. Hembo is out.
I have to tell, to be fair, and it's not something I'm interested in being usually.
Yeah,
I took it to mean active. That's how I was thinking about it.
When you play it back, though, you can see how someone
the long version. He says it in the long version. He says active.
All right,
boys, it's hammer time. Week 1 is upon us, which raises this trivia question. Which NFL team owns the longest active streak of starting 0-1? In other words,
so here's the
I would like to first. I got to retract everything I just said. I'd like to retract everything I just said about Hembo. I like him very much. I got a little over my skis there.
No. Hang on.
I would like to apologize.
Everything that you just said about Hembo, we now turn and make it about Evan Wilner, our producer, who cut the Hembo question down to this.
Which team has lost the most consecutive week 1 games?
That's what we just gave again. So there,
very fair.
You're serving us up the old screw job right there.
You didn't think about and come up with your answers before you heard it the second time?
No, I waited until the second time. I'm thorough like that. What are you? You just race into the SAT questions without any prep whatsoever?
Yes, and if you saw my SAT scores, you'd know that that's what I did. Also, I also get caught up in the I can't have 3 C's in a row, so a couple different times I was like, well, that one can't be C.
That is just an awful approach to taking a test. I can't think of a worse approach to taking a test. So not only does the question not matter, if you've had a couple C's in a row, you're now thinking that the test is tricking you.
Yes.
So you're eliminating C from contention solely because of a perceived pattern that you, John Nash, beautiful mind, have uncovered.
Yes.
I just find that hard to believe that's how, the Bill Gates of the world take their tests.
Yeah, the only way that I would ever compare him to John Nash is to have a bunch of stuff up on a corkboard that makes absolutely no sense.
This segment is a disaster. This segment is an absolute disaster of a segment.
Wow. You're honestly, right out of the gate, you just completely hosed him right there.
I would like to know what the longest active is. I want a piece of this action.
No, the longest active is the Falcons.
Okay.
So
now
what's
I'm
the longest of all time?
What's the longest of all time? Longest active. 5. Who cares? Who cares about who has the longest active streak? Who's got the longest active streak for most consecutive home runs in a game? 30 guys are tied at 1. What a great trivia question.
See, this is why this segment's not going anywhere.
I'm thinking about walking out.
I want aggravation out of it.
I'm thinking about walking out. We started the hour talking about the mozzarella sticks. I'm hungry. I've been thinking about that. I'm all confused.
Listen, this is why you incorporate Hembo into the show, because he's going to find a way to stick it to you.
Yeah.
And that's what just happened.
It's well played.
The Browns did lose 17 straight week 1 games.
What do you know? What do you know? And there's no way anyone is worse than that. So I'm counting that as right. Yeah, it is the record. I'm counting it as right. I was right. I outsmarted Hembo at his own stupid question.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Carlin was on the wrong end of both. So, that's awful.
Get used to that.
Your question is this. Who is the only quarterback in the history of the Chargers to start multiple conference championship games?
Yeah, I think it's fast.
I got Drew Brees. Drew Brees. Go ahead and let's get the answer.
The correct answer is Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts lost the AFC title game in 1980 and 1981.
Once again, Hembo didn't specify if the quarterback was playing for the Chargers when he went to the conference championship game. And my answer is correct because a Chargers quarterback who appeared in multiple conference championship games would be Drew Brees. He went to 2.
I should have known that you were going to try to pull some chicanery.
Not pulling anything.
There.
Listen to
I'm sorry, that's garbage
question.
on your part.
He needs to phrase the question better. If you play the game Immaculate Gridiron and they ask for a New Orleans Saints player that's won the MVP award, you can put Adrian Peterson in there because Adrian Peterson played for the Saints but won an MVP with the Vikings. That's what Hembo should be aware of. He knows that game just like I do. He plays the baseball version of it. He's got to clean up the questions. Listen to the question.
Your question is this. Who is the only quarterback in the history of the Chargers to start multiple conference championship games? Good luck.
Drew Brees is a quarterback in the history of the Chargers who has started multiple conference championship games. It never said he had to start them for the Chargers. That's on Hembo.
Must be here for the trivia challenge.
Do you have the answer to this week's trivia question?
Oh, I love trivia.
What's up, boys? It's hammer time.
This is the Hembo Hammer.
It is that, as we do each and every week at this time on Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio on Sirius XM Channel 80. Let us go back once again and hear the Hembo Hammer question for this week.
The correct answer is Tom Izzo.
Oh!
Nicely done, Fat Fingers.
Wow.
What did you do? Hit the wrong button?
I hit the wrong button. I completely ruined it.
Well, I mean, Izzo's probably one of only a couple guesses there. I mean, what else would we have been guessing? All the old school guys have been retiring. It was Izzo herself.
Who did I just call the show killer? Evan, what the hell just happened there? How did I do that?
We're going to fix this. Do you guys want to guess who's second? Because Hembo sent me the top three.
No, because I was going to say Izzo. I was going to say Izzo. I'm not going to reposition my day. I'm riding a heater. I got 2 in a row.
Look at you.
It's on the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for that.
Yeah, it's all on me.
So what, you just hit the wrong button?
I just hit the wrong button. I thought
you were going to catch it. I thought you were going to stop it. I thought you were
I thought I did too.
It felt like he was going to stop it.
I thought I was about to. And here's the thing. Just to pull you behind the screen. Like every day, I go through a painstaking process to make sure, just to make it easier for Handman, but honestly, because it's truly that I don't trust Handman, that I can play the sound from here. Right?
Yeah.
I go through this whole process. Listen, I have to be able to get it right, okay? And then Fat Fingers fires away on the answer as opposed to asking the question.
Yeah, moving forward, executive decision, Handman's back in charge of the audio.
You must be here for the trivia challenge.
Do you have the answer to this week's trivia question?
Oh, I love trivia.
What's up, boys? It's hammer time.
This is the Hembo Hammer.
You guys notice every little thing in any piece of sound we play.
A lot of pep from Hembo today.
Did you not notice how different this question sounds?
I already commented on that multiple times.
No.
Long time, no hammer. Carlin, this one's for you. That sounded like Hembo to you?
Well, when he said, Carlin, this one's for you, first of all, I thought he was trying to stick it to me. So that's what I'm going on.
Oh, okay.
He was all fired up. I mentioned how fired up he was. I caught that immediately,
Let's listen to
especially on the way out.
One more time.
On the
and
way
I said
out.
we haven't had him in a few weeks because he's been off. From what he's been off, I don't know.
What's up, boys? Long time, no hammer. Carlin, this one's for you. What was the last team to win the World Series, then have a losing record the following season? The last team to win the World Series and have a losing record the following season. Good luck.
So you don't think that's a sketchy question at all? I'm not saying the letter of the law in the questions is accurate. I'm saying in the spirit of the question, you're hitting me with a COVID-shortened season.
We're having like 8 different conversations here right now. You two are back there laughing. He's still arguing about the question. We're on 10 different things.
The energy of Hembo was certainly different.
It's Eric's voice.
No, it's not even Eric's voice.
No? Who is it?
It's Cam. Hembo sent me the question and then forgot to record it during Greeny, so Cam recorded it as Hembo, and you guys had no idea.
Oh, that's incredible.
Wow. Hit it again.
Oh, that's so good.
What's up, boys? Long time, no hammer. Carlin, this one's for you. What was the last team to win the World Series, then have a losing record the following season? The last team to win the World Series and have a losing record the following season. Good luck.
Oh, my God. Even after you tell me it's Cam, it still sounds like Hembo.
I totally agree.
That is fantastic. I didn't know he did that good of a Hembo. Is that a thing he does on the show?
Oh, my God.
I don't think I've heard him do a hembo, but he does a lot of good impressions.
What are the other good impressions?
He can sing Rainbow Sunshine in the Kermit the Frog voice very well.
All right, I'll deal with that later. I thought you were going to say, well, he also does Greenie, and like that really threw me through a loop. We'll address that later. That's incredible.
That was an incredible hembo. I just
thought it was hembo pepped up a little bit. That's it. Just pepped up.
Long time, no hembo. I'm like, long time, no hammer. I'm like,
the inflections. He nails the inflections.
That was
It's not
phenomenal.
just that he sounds like him. The way he hits all the highs and lows of how hembo.
Wow.
Oh, man. Bravo.
I'd be embarrassed that I didn't pick up on that if it wasn't that good. So just a little while ago, we have our hembo hammer each and every week at this, at 1:45 Eastern time, and we played the intro for it.
You must be here for the trivia challenge.
Do you have the answer to this week's trivia question?
Well, that, of course, was the voice of Mo the bartender from The Simpsons. Turns out Mo was listening. Not too happy.
Mo was listening?
Yes.
What does that even mean?
Mo was listening to our segment when we were about to do that and heard his own voice, which he interpreted as not being meant for this show. In other words, basically, Mo feels like we pirated a piece of his intellectual property for our own use. I might point out to Mo that Disney now owns The Simpsons, which we are all one family, but Mo was not thinking along those lines, and he let us know that.
So not only is you guys illegally and immorally using my vocal image there, but you just got me with promoting trivia, which couldn't be like a worse waste of time endeavor. That, I don't know, they one time had me mentioned once, and now you're just repurposing it for some baseball nonsense. I hate baseball. I hate it, all right? It's boring. Plus, my dad used to whack things in the house with a bat, and it was real loud. But I don't want to go into my child. Now you got me all choked up about my childhood. Don't use my voice no more.
Got a little dark there with Mo for a second.
He really took himself through it.
He really did. And apparently we have upset him.
I love the honking. I love the honking in the background. What was Mo doing? Like
Mo was walking through the streets of New York City with his earbuds in, listening the whole time, and locked in on the show. And Mo was not pleased with that, and that message was sent to me from Mo.
There has to be at least somebody who walked by who was like, what the hell is this guy doing? Having no idea, absolutely no idea what was happening or what would happen following that moment.
Well, all I can tell you is, Mo's mantra, I think he has actually trademarked this prior to Dion doing it. F around and find out. Don't worry, we never actually got that cease and desist letter from Mo the bartender. At least not yet. Coming up next, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Peyton Manning, tells us why he's just like the rest of us. You're listening to the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Shop Dell Technologies' Black Friday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Black Friday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
This is Seattle Sports.
Hey, are you looking to save on internet and mobile this holiday season? Well, good news. Xfinity is having a Black Friday sale. They have you covered with these great deals. Learn how to get your choice of a 5G phone on Xfinity. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price. So don't wait. Bring home a new 5G phone and get Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile. That's a big deal, or should I say a gig deal. Now through December 3rd, ask how to get your choice of free 5G phone with an unlimited plus line. Plus, get Xfinity Gigabit internet with free Wi-Fi equipment for only $25 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply, taxes and fees extra after promo, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires Xfinity Gateway. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
If you worked in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industries where hazardous chemicals or solvents were used, your children may be entitled to legal damages. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb deformities, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other issues, and you're a past or present aircraft manufacturing or painting, semiconductor or circuit board worker, contact Weinstein-Cajano now, toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you are a past or present worker in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industry worker, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-998-6942. That's 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein-Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555, or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used, and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
This holiday season, give the gift of Mariners baseball. Why settle for a pair of socks when you can grab a pair of tickets to see the Red Sox? A gift card? Skip it. And snag seats to see the Cardinals. A wine opener? Or how about an opening day trip to T-Mobile Park? For tickets and our complete schedule of marquee matchups, including the Yankees and Dodgers, plus can't miss collectibles, fireworks nights, $10 value seats, and more, visit Mariners.com.
A walk-off grand slam for Cal Raleigh.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
This is the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio. Happy Thanksgiving. Hall of Famer Peyton Manning stopped by the show prior to the new season of the Manning cast, and Joe asked him what's changed since he and his brother Eli began their Monday Night Football altcast 3 years ago.
Well, Eli and I are having a lot of fun. It's probably the main thing, and I think the thing we enjoy the most, right? We love watching football. We love talking football with people who love football as much as we do. I mean, McEnroe loves ball. Obviously, Fitzpatrick loves ball, but, Snoop Dogg last year, Condoleezza Rice, the unifying thing is they all love football. I think that's been the coolest part about it, is having these guests on from different walks of life that are in different fields. But like I said, we can all kind of come together and just talk.
Peyton, you and I have something in common, and that is a love for 80s, 90s comedies, Fletch, Caddyshack, The Jerk, Stripes, Vacation. I know you're a fan of all of them. Are you a movie quote guy? Do you hit people with movie quotes all the time, hoping that they are picking up on that?
Oh, for sure. It's funny. Eli was talking to Coach Hackett, and Coach Hackett was talking about Garrett Wilson. And he was saying, God, he's so athletic. He's elastic. He said, I call him Gumby is his nickname. And he said, Garrett Wilson is like, who is Gumby? dumb, no idea. And that reminds me when I was in my football meetings, and I would say something like, "This is crazy, right?" Getting ready to get into the pool with Christy, and the other quarterbacks are like, "What? What do you say? I don't get that." I'm like, "Go watch these 5 movies, learn these quotes. Otherwise, you and I are going to have no relationship. Like, this is your homework for the weekend." So, big movie quote guy. But you got to know your audience, right? You got to know who you're talking to. Otherwise, you're going to hear crickets.
One thing I was always hoping I could run by you if I ever had the chance to talk to you. For 6 years, I worked in the Bay Area with former NFL fullback Lorenzo Neal on Sports Talk Radio. Lo's a great guy. Lo speaks extremely highly of you. He's told a story that I want to run by you because you might be familiar with it, where when he would go to the Pro Bowl, one of the best things about being at the Pro Bowl when it was in Hawaii was that the veterans would hang out by the pool and everyone would get to have a good time and you get to meet the young guys. And he said there was this one NFL quarterback who was kind of, one of the big honchos there. And when rookie Pro Bowlers would show up, the quarterback would get to know these guys. And he would get to know them under the guise of, I'm impressed with your work. I'd love to get to talk to you more. What's your room number? I'll come by later. So that quarterback could eventually use the room number to charge his drinks and food to. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
Oh, golly. I thought what happened at the Pro Bowl was supposed to stay at the Pro Bowl. Because the Pro Bowl in Hawaii doesn't exist anymore, I guess everything's out the window. That is true. It was just too easy. I mean, these young quarterbacks, or even it was really any first-year Pro Bowler, they were so, eager to give up their room number. It was so easy. And we're like, 236. Okay, that's a good place to charge the 25 Mai Tais I'm just buying for the offensive line here. So checkout was not quite as fun for some of those rookies at the Pro Bowl when they got their bill. But, Lorenzo Neal is one of the greats. And I still say that's my great takeaway from playing football is the relationships I made, not just with my own teammates, but with guys that I competed against. And, I got to know Tony Gonzalez, and of course, that's kind of where I met Brady and John Lynch. And so I still see that in the NFL. I think it's still one of the best parts about the game is the mutual respect that, players have with each other. I think that's good for the game.
Last one before we let you go. One of the great all-time SNL skits is you with the United Way and playing football with the kids. How many takes did it take hitting those kids with those footballs?
It was, I tell you, people don't believe me. The football, the Nerf was actually, they cut the Nerf out. The footballs were they were flappable. I mean, they weighed nothing. And so actually,
I didn't think he actually drilled kids with NFL footballs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you put those sound effects, but it was like you were just knocking. I still say, the out route that I hit on the kid running toward the portalet, one of the best throws I've ever made. It hit him in the back. But it's funny, look, that's 2007, right? So I got an email last year from kind of a friend of a friend saying that Jack, the kid who I hit in the back, was getting married, and would I do kind of a video for his rehearsal dinner? And my brother Cooper kind of helped me write this, but it went something like this. I said, Jack, Peyton Manning here. Listen, when I walk down the street, a few people know me because I threw a few touchdowns, but for the most part, people recognize me because you let me hit you in the face with a football over 15 years ago. So thank you for putting me on the map, and best wishes for eternal happiness. So anyway, that was a good memory. Hard to believe it's been 2007, and all these kids are all grown up, but it's good stuff.
That was Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. Let's go from a former quarterback to a current one. We had a blast when Ohio State quarterback Will Howard joined Carlin versus Joe.
Howard gets the snap, sets up at the Purdue 27 to throw. Fires down on the right foot, caught by Smith, 15, races to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Jeremiah Smith. 17-yard TD pass from Will Howard. Jeremiah Smith into the end zone with his 9th receiving touchdown. 20-0 Ohio State.
That is the great Paul Keels from Learfield, the voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's Will Howard with a touchdown pass, and he is, of course, the quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and he joins us right now on Carlin versus Joe. Will, it's Chris Carlin and Joe Fortenbaugh on ESPN Radio. We appreciate a few minutes. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you gentlemen doing?
Not good. I'm going to jump in here. I'm a Penn State grad. It didn't have to go that way, Will. Didn't have to go that way. I mean, every now and again, we can let the Lions win one of these.
Oh, man, that's one thing, man. The Buckeyes don't lose the Nittany Lions. Believe me, I was a Penn State fan growing up, too, and I knew it. Now I'm just on the right side of it.
How good did it feel to walk into that stadium and do that?
It was awesome, and for it to happen the way that it did, it wasn't my best game, but for us to pull it out in the fourth and our defense to have that big stand and us to go, drive the ball down the field to, end the game with the ball in our hands, man, it was special. And after the game, just being able to celebrate with my family and with my teammates, it was unbelievable.
Will Howard is with us. All right, so you're a Downingtown, PA guy, Philly guy. Are you a 4-for-4 Philly fan? Is it all Philadelphia teams?
All four, man. Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, Eagles.
Where are you on the Sixers this year? What are they going to do?
I
think you just summed it up.
We'll pretend one day you might be in this chair. You might be doing sports talk radio one day if you want. Like, you got to come hot with it.
Yeah. It's frustrating year in and year out. I think with Embiid, man, like
Hanging up your lights could be a tangly mess. Leave it up to us and save yourself the stress. We'll install our lights, they're custom fit to you. We do